Welcome back to some more Mages of Pleasant Valley, where I am gathered here with my friends to play a little tabletop role-playing. And how are you all doing today?
Quite well.
I'm doing well.
All right. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just had myself a nice filling dinner, and I'm ready to jump into the world of darkness, where, there's been some stirrings going on in Pleasant Valley, has there?
Oh,
You
certainly.
could spin
A few
pause
things.
that.
Okay, yeah, just a few things.
Stuff may have happened. With that, let's do some introductions here. Let's start left to right. Cariter, who are you?
I'm Karen.
What are you doing in my house? Get the fuck out of my house!
You know, that is a question that my character Nicholas is, in fact, been saying a lot recently.
Who the fuck are you? Why are you in my house? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I am
No,
the
that's great, that's great.
non-VTubing person in the group to give the common man's perspective.
Oh, of
And I
course.
play Nicholas, the incredibly relatable multi-billionaire philanthropist genius doctor who
relatable.
also happens to, have a genetic disorder. Here are the quotes. That causes them to have to ingest human flesh every once in a while, and is currently being attacked by possibly a vampire / mage / we don't know what. That's what the discussion was you heard when we came in.
Yes. Yeah, that's incredibly relatable. I think everyone has those troubles in their lives, so it's glad that we have a nice point of reference for people to latch on to.
Exactly.
Of course.
And Crusader, who are you? What you do?
I'm Crusader Corrupted, or in this case, Anthony DeLuca. And I am a mage who's trying to hide my true identity that this random person who broke into Nicholas's house seems to know. Yeah.
Could be tricky. It's a good thing we also have Kiana here. Who are you?
Hi.
What you do?
I'm Gimna Linguini, and I have no idea what a vampire is, nor involved with this. Yet.
No.
I'm just your average, ordinary nun, very relatable stuff.
Yes, for all the people out there who are magic practitioners that eat people and are also nuns, we have you covered with multiple characters here. And ID10T, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Well, my father loved my mother very much, and so therefore here I am. I'm ID10, your favorite glitch in the system, user error, elemental, etc., 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 etc. I'm currently playing Ethan Gardner, who speaks kind of like this. He's sort of a New York, Boston sort of transplant who's kind of a middle-aged-ish dude. He's been dealing with a lot of shit lately. He tried to get a house in this podunk middle of nowhere town, and suddenly there's some magic doohickey shit, and he learned about the magic earlier, but now it's all weird, and it was the guy with the corn dog, and now he got kidnapped, and now he's getting wrapped up in all this madness, basically. He doesn't know what a vampire is either.
Well, that's a lot of stuff. Well, I remembered the last session being quite packed full of character development and plot exposition. Does anybody want to give a recap to the audience for us?
It be wiggity, yo.
And there you have it, folks. Let's jump in. No. We're going to get this from Anthony's perspective. Anthony, tell us what happened on the last exciting episode of Mage's Ballsy.
It's somehow worse.
Mage balls.
Mage balls.
I mean, with enough matter in life, you could do some amazing things.
Probably. Crusader, if you are talking right now, you're mute. Just want to let you know.
Okay, yes, it helps if I'm not muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured.
So, I'm not even sure when I muted myself, because I didn't click anything. So,
Sure. It's just my magic. I can mute people.
Yes. You've completely silenced me, taken away all of my words. Now, in terms of the game, it's really quite simple as to what happened. We had a very strange magical item that we had recovered from a burned down lodge out in the middle of the woods with a field of decay around it. And we really wanted to know what was inside of it, but we couldn't right away, and we needed to open it safely in Nicholas's sanctum. But then Nicholas had a very important client show up, and we had, well, he asked the other two to leave, vacate the area while this client was there. I baked some delicious apple pie cookies. And then after I was of no use, I was told that I had to keep an eye on Ethan, who had the...
Clear up the confusion. My sanctum is also my operating room, so, can't do this two things at the same time.
Yes. So, while hanging out with Ethan and being completely and utterly bored, we realized that Ethan's magic allows him to see into different areas and locations. And so he tried to look into the box, which worked, but when you look into a closed box, it's really dark.
It's true. That's true.
And neither
Checks
of
out.
us can put light into a box or has control over light, but Gamma can.
Yes.
So,
this is accurate.
Giving Nicholas plenty of space to continue all of his work and not be in his way or cause any harm to his client.
Or
We
be
decided
there
to
in
leave.
case I need you.
We decided to leave and go track down Gemma. We went and saw Father Andrews. We went there as well, but missed her while she was there. And while examining the box, it accidentally opened.
Ooh.
And so we took it away quickly, made him panic a little bit. He started chanting and purifying his entire house. And then we found Gemma at the church. We performed rituals to protect ourselves and to open the box, where we found a journal.
Oh, yeah, that's it? You just opened the box and it was all cool?
No, we just opened the box, easy peasy. Nothing strange happened. Definitely wasn't like a vortex sucking all the air out of the room into it, like making a mess of all the papers and everything around it. Not that at all.
Okay.
No.
Just
It didn't, in fact, flip over the crosses and turn the House of God into a satanic church.
No.
Of course not.
No. It did, though.
I mean, yeah, 100% it did. So, but the interesting thing was that we needed key in order to read the pages of the journal, but only with the specific spirit that we had available was the memories connected into that journal, which was Teacup.
And then what was your plan?
Well, then we're like, oh, let's go get to the dragon and see the memories in the journal about the dragon.
Get to the chopper.
And
So,
where was the dragon? Wasn't he up at the farmer's market, or did something happen?
He apparently likes to stay at the Bassett estate.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know. He
That's
got
a
some
good
good food
question.
there.
Good food.
Something cookies. Something the potatoes of the gods.
Yeah, I don't know. There's this really, really awesome person who cooks really great food. So then we're on our way back. I get a call from, my good friend Nicholas, who's apparently been assaulted and called the cops because someone is asking questions about who I used to be.
Ooh. Is that a touchy subject for Anthony?
Just a little bit, as nobody should be looking for me.
Oh, no.
Nobody who knows that name should be looking for me unless they want to do harm to me.
Well, they didn't say they were looking for Anthony, so they must have you mixed up with someone else, right?
Yeah.
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 Ixnay on the old
Well, since Ethan was with Anthony that entire time, is there any gaps in there that you want to fill, or is there anything that he missed?
First, Ethan was the one with the idea to open the box.
You take sole responsibility for that.
Yeah, being left alone for 5 minutes caused Ethan to go, this box is pretty enticing. And he, with his roguish nature, thought, well, I could take one little peek, and he couldn't get it open. So that's why we got moving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, most of that seems to be accurate. Lost track of the dragon. Dragon ate a bunch of stuff over at the estate before we left. I remember that bit. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, Gemma's losing her religion. We forgot about that.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You should probably explain that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Listen,
That's Gemma in the
because-
corner. That's
Please
Gemma in the
explain
sky.
how Nicholas has been correct this entire time.
Just because Gemma had a spiritual decision between a golden oak representing her religion and her beliefs, and a purple one representing her connections with her friend, and that she chose the friend over the religion, that doesn't mean that she's losing her religion or anything, or that she's lost the grace of God. What are you guys talking about?
True, right? And then opened up a box that of questionable origins that then did things that could be considered demonic in some form or fashion.
I don't know about demonic.
Certainly not holy. Unholy.
Literally flipping crosses upside down is almost the definition of demonic.
Could be. There are people saying this.
And that could just be a misconception about that symbolism there. I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah. This is, it's...
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments down below what you think.
Do you think that Gemma Linguini is a heretic?
Anything else? Or was it an easy decision? It must have been for Gemma.
I mean, it wasn't like an easy decision or anything like that.
What was it?
Those were certainly sounds.
Yeah. Sounds and, stuff. That's
all right. Well, we now have a pretty good idea of what Anthony, Ethan, and Gemma were up to. During that time, what happened with Nicholas? You seem like you were pretty upset coming into this episode.
Oh, coming into this episode?
Well, not in the recap. I'm saying the one that we're about to start. You must have had something go on in the last one to be making a game plan in our prep for the episode stage.
I mean, well, we started off with, of course, trying to get the people out of my house that were very likely to cause problems when an expensive and, turns out to be probably would have been fine considering how ditzy she was. Client was coming in as a doctor specializing in cosmetic surgery, in having, very rich and famous people show up. Having a nun and a random office worker standing around in the house probably isn't the best, for my business.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
And as much as I would have loved to trust them to, not cause problems and just wait until I was done so we continue our very important magic business, they have instantly proven me wrong, considering what just happened. And in the way of Gemma, given her track record with criminality,
hold on.
I felt it was best that she, take care of the church and, do her other duties rather than stand around uselessly in my house for several hours. Just thinking the best for her. But we had the client show up, and I gave them the best care that I possibly could for, both for them and Daddy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain that, so you guys better watch the previous episode if you want to know what that's about.
That's
and afterwards, we had a knock on the door, which really should not have happened. That I needed to answer it because I had a good friend and was supposed to be taking care of all those things while I was in the middle of busy surgery, but he happened to disappear along, with everybody else that I was relying upon. Mm-hmm. And then I went and opened the door, and it turned out to be like the most stereotypical journalist from the 1960s that's ever happened. The 1920s.
Yeah, I was going for more 1920s.
1920s, the roaring 20s.
Atlantic, radio voice, baseball announcer.
Yeah. And so I immediately thought, the paparazzi. They're here, I have a famous client, can't deal with them, talk to them later. And then he forces himself into my house because, as a doctor, I'm not the strongest person in the world. Dexterous, smart, charming, handsome, but brutish and strong, I leave to Gemma and the man with the cleaver. So he forced his way in, and then started spouting some sort of nonsense about some guy named Lorenzo, and trying to fuck with my mind with, I assume, some sort of mind magic. Could be eye thingies, I don't know. But trying to compel me to answer him, showing me illusions, cutting off my ability to contact the police to get him out of there. And so, as a Hippocratic follower, or a follower of the Hippocratic Oath, I knocked him unconscious with, a sleep bomb and some magic that I keep on my person.
And this gun that I found.
And this gun! And I shot, and I missed.
And I missed.
But, yeah. I knocked him out, and then, given the fact that he is A, been attacking me, B, talking about things that need not be talked about, and C, might be a mage or a vampire or some other type of creature, I injected him with lots of drugs. And that's when everyone walked in.
Yes, that was right where we left off. And so now let's jump into it. It's Pleasant Valley. It's now close to dusk. The rain is kicked up, and you can hear the thunder rolling in the background. The pack, Ethan, Gemma, and Anthony, burst in the front door, teacup in hand, with a new box with a journal in somebody's possession, I'm sure. And now you see a man, ass up, face down on the floor, passed out, with Ethan injecting something into...
Ethan?
Or not Ethan. Nicholas. Nicholas injecting something.
Ethan injected it. This is all Ethan's fault.
He teleported in. He teleported in and started
No.
To see Nicholas injecting something into the man. And is that the sound of police sirens echoing in the far distance? And scene.
I swear, we have like a weather mage that just sets this up to be dramatic in this fucking town.
Okay.
Fuck. Where were you? God damn it.
We were.
Don't answer that. I don't have time.
Okay.
Time.
So this person assaulted you, asking for that friend?
Yes.
Okay.
And he tried to mind fuck me with some sort of magic.
Okay.
Oh, the dude's Fushin. Yeah, we gotta. Did you put him down?
Hopefully. Hold on, the police are on their way.
Did you kill him or just knock him out?
Okay, yeah. Look, I haven't exactly had a chance to learn how to hide a dead body, but every day's your first time for something. I
sedated him after he attacked me.
Okay, that's fair.
Whether or not his body reacts well with whatever other chemicals he might have in him, that's up to him. Now, excuse me for a moment. I'm gonna bend down. I'm gonna I need to make a life roll
What you trying to
real
do?
quick. I'm going to injure myself. Specifically. I'm going to take his hand, I'm going to rake his fingernails across my cheek, and I'm going to injure myself at the same time. Because I said he attacked me, and now there's going to be evidence of it. You know, he did attack me, but they're not going to take he attacked me with mind magic as an excuse.
Sure. I get that.
Seems normal.
Let's see.
You do that. I'm going to start searching every single part, pocket, everything that this person has.
Emma and Ethan, you should probably wait outside for the police, as this is now going to be a crime scene.
Oh, wait, that's right. The police are coming here, aren't they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Could we not hand this person over to the police?
I mean, I'm working, so you talk. What's the difficulty? It should only be like a 5?
It's going to be a, let's see, alter or heal self. I'm going to say that you could probably, hurt yourself with that. So yeah, that'd be a difficulty 5.
All right. Not difficulty 5. Please be a roll. I can't see it. 2.
It's a 2.
There we go. So that should put a good amount of fingernails and blood and stuff under his nails and a scratch on my face. And
yeah, you can go ahead and give yourself a bashing and a lethal. Since that is, I think, what you were going for.
Yep, I want a gash on my head and something on my face, and I'm gonna go lean against a desk with a sharp corner, and put blood on it.
Gotcha.
Not that I'm gonna let a lot of people check my fucking house after this, but
All right. That does happen explicitly as you expressed it.
Awesome. And now that I've suffered a head injury, this is going to be even better.
As you're doing that, I would be saying, so could we not hand him over to the police, especially if he's using that friend's name? And maybe we don't get that name out here into this town?
Sorry, what's the problem with this guy's name? Oh, sorry.
Some people it's just better not to know about.
I apologize. I've actually been told to step away, if I'm not mistaken.
Doesn't mean you have to. Just because, as we've seen before, Nicholas says to do something doesn't mean you guys do it.
Yeah. At what point is Nicholas going to start doing reverse psychology? You have you have psychology as one of your things. You could just be like, all right, guys, I need you all to stand around me and get in my way as much as possible.
You're kidding me? I'm going to be the best guy to stay away you've ever seen. No, you are correct. Ethan would stay around despite your orders. He's asking questions and asking, like, why do you have to hurt yourself? Why can't we just talk to the police? I mean, they've never hurt me before.
I mean,
he says, the player knowing that is
it. Also, if this person was able to whoosh, then do you really think the police are going to be able to hold him?
I mean,
well, no. There's more evidence. There's more people there. It's kind of difficult to make him, he could get it really whoosh without getting the bitch slapped by the universe.
I don't know how strong he is.
I don't know either.
He follows our rules. Looking at Anthony.
Just saying, he might get an opportunity to get away. And then we have no idea where he is or exactly what's going on.
Okay.
The police sirens are drawing closer.
If Ethan wants to teleport him somewhere else so we can deal with it, please do so now, immediately.
We can tell a tale to the cops to get them to go away until we're done with this guy.
Right.
I mean, do it now. You have no time.
Okay.
You have the ability to teleport a person somewhere else?
That's a tough ask.
I would recommend a couple of people go take him into another room, strip him down, bind him up. and make sure he doesn't actually go anywhere.
I don't think there's any way we can do that.
Why? Police don't have to come in here.
Well, if you want to make a roll, I think you need to make a roll for this.
What are you exactly trying to do?
No, I mean to convince us to follow his plan.
Oh, yeah. If they need persuasion, then you're going to have
Come on,
to...
Anthony, use your charisma and social powers to social us.
It seems like you are just... Well, would this be a charisma or a manipulation?
I mean, that's up to him.
It's the same
social
way.
powers.
It's the same either way?
Yep.
I would feel like
talk
getting people to do what you want them to do is manipulation. So let's go with a manipulation expression.
Okay.
Or maybe leadership? You are trying to take the lead here. Maybe leadership would be the best one. At a difficulty 6. And for any of you trying to resist it, that would probably be your own charisma expression. At difficulty 6? Yeah, you are expressing your dislike of it.
I thought expression was specifically like art and stuff.
It's a little weird.
I mean, that's fine. I believe you. It just
Mm-hmm.
Art isn't.
I don't have
art is
documents.
one.
Art actually has its own skill.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are right. It does. All
You can
right.
always double check.
Expression is actually more of your ability to just simply speak, kind of convincingly.
Oh, all right. Well,
Which is why expression could also work here, but yeah.
Right, because there is no
Mhm.
persuasion roll per se in this. There is no
Yeah.
literal skill or ability called. Yeah.
Or diplomacy.
Intimidation, leadership. I guess we could oppose with our own leadership. Not that that helps me.
Not that
Yeah.
helps me. I got nothing.
Yeah, if you had, like, competing plans, then...
I mean, I said my plan.
Yeah, just to
Yeah,
hand them over
that
to
I
the
mean-
cops.
Yeah,
You.
fake. And by fake, I mean actually have injuries and hand him over to the cops, and then have him never wake up because I injected him with a shit ton of drugs.
Alright, in that case then, anyone who has a plan, do yourself a manipulation leadership roll. If you want to resist other people's plans, then do your
Right.
own charisma expression roll. Let's go.
Charisma.
All of
Gotcha.
these at difficulty 6, and we'll see who comes out on top.
That sounds like a fair way to do it.
I
Since
am.
we have a
personally-
short amount of time.
Mhm.
Apparently, I am not convincing.
All right. Damn.
Right.
The charisma character not pulling through.
Wait, why'd you only get 3 dice?
Because I don't
Oh, okay.
use leadership. I'm a talking character. I'm not a leader.
That's fair.
Leaders talk?
Yeah, but I'm not that type of a talking character.
Jesus, Ethan.
Ethan
what's
being the most
Ethan's
persuasive motherfucker in the room.
I was gonna say, well, also, yeah, you're talking about being persuasive against a different way of me being persuasive. But
Yeah.
I should have rolled 3 dice, and yet it only rolled 2 dice. But it says it was rolling
No.
3 dice.
You're
You have
you're
one
injured.
difficulty?
You're
You have
injured.
Yes, thank you.
Oh no.
It's like, that doesn't make sense. I thought I hit the right button. No, that's
Yeah.
fine. I did this on purpose.
Yep.
Holy.
My
So-
character is not thinking straight.
So before anything, Nicholas makes a very compelling argument that we should let the police handle this, and he's already set himself up to be injured. So I think, Anthony, you at least would have to, fall or cave a little bit for that. Ethan, make up your mind. What do you want to do? Because you are completely free to do as you want right now.
All right. Ethan is going to espouse his belief here that, all right, I'm sort of thinking of this whole thing. You see, okay, so we got a dude who's drugged on the ground. The police are going to want to know what's in the system, probably. So they're probably going to want to know what the hell's happening anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with the drug thing. And we're going to show the police him. And then mention, well, I'm the only doctor in town, he says. So I'm going to check and see what's in his system. And then you do whatever you want with the guy.
Well, I was gonna mention that I had to sedate him since I had drugs on hand for the recent. I still have a patient in the back.
Yeah, you do.
No, I know. I'm just saying that he's saying.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She's probably staring at a cookie or something. But yeah, no, you tell the police. Hey, sirs, I'm the only doctor in town. Who else are you gonna go to for like a toxicology report?
There's other doctors in town.
Oh, well, fuck me. No, well, never mind.
Well,
I assumed with a small
like-
town, there's not a lot of doctors to be had.
Maybe not a
there's-
lot, but like there had to have been a doctor. Like Nicholas hasn't lived here all the time.
Yeah,
Do we know that,
there's at
actually?
least a clinic.
Okay.
but I mean, they may not be able to do a toxicology report.
Maybe not.
Yeah. basically,
Anyway,
stick with the plan. Get the police to come here. Get the police to
Alright.
talk to you. You're injured. You offer your services to figure out what the hell's wrong with this guy, and you move on from there.
then I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a mind magic check now.
What's the idea?
Well, I'm gonna write down the events we said was going to happen on my notepad. Hopefully not. Oh god, I'm injured now, so it's gonna be at -1. That's gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know if I can do that. Does it? No one else has mind magic though, right?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
You have mind magic?
Okay.
All right.
That's why I want to go into this guy's mind and actually like probe around.
How many dots do you have?
2.
2? No, it's not enough. All right. Well, I'm not good at lying, so I was going to basically alter my own memories to this is what happened,
Oh.
so I can be truthful to the police.
Hmm.
But I think I can just say I have a head injury. Can we talk later?
Even
And then do it
But-
when I'm not injured.
even better, Ethan can assist you with lying his ass off if need be.
I'm gonna-
I can sell a lie.
Yeah.
That's not an issue.
Let's hope, Mr. -1.
Oh yeah, that's -1 to convince you because you're stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is very
It was
fair.
on a different roll.
All right. All right, so I'll not do that at the moment because I forgot about the -1 and I'm not risking even more paradox at the moment with no willpower or anything to use. All right. Well, then I guess we should meet the police, or I should probably lay down. My head hurts.
Mm-hmm. Woo, 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 woo! The sirens ring out as they pull up outside the estate. You hear car doors opening and slamming shut, and a dog barking loud as the sound of a kind of Irish older man rings out. Move in, boys! Feet run up to the door.
There's no need to move in. Like, what? Just stay right there.
Is the door open?
The door, I assume you guys closed it behind you.
Oh no!
So,
Please, no, not
police! Mr. Bissett! Oh,
the door is unlocked.
they open up. 4 men come in. One of them, Captain Sullivan. You all right, lad?
I'm just gonna sit there with blood running down my face.
They, one of the officers moves in on Anthony and pushes him up against the wall. Everyone get down! Everyone down! Which one?
What are
Which
you
one is it?
doing here?
The one on the ground.
One of the officers moves over there. They pull his legs out, put his arms behind his back, and begin to cuff him. They then begin frisking the rest of you down.
Look, I got nothing on me.
Get
What are
your
you doing?
damn hands off of me.
I did not consent to a fucking search. What is this?
Calm down, everyone. They came in to help. Thank you.
Yeah, and they got the guy, so let me down.
Sullivan moves over. He's like, it's all regular police work. Now, Nicholas, you all right? You look a little banged up there. Should we call an ambulance for you?
No, I'll be fine, Captain.
Sure.
Although
Here, have a seat in your chair.
I'll have a seat in my chair.
He
The-
gets the flashlight out of your face and he looks down at the man. Don't recognize that fella? He must be new
No.
around town.
In the interests of honesty and openness, I did have to sedate him after he attacked me.
Oh. Well, how did you manage that?
I have a patient I was working on in the back. I had still some of the anesthetic on me. So when he grabbed my point to my cheek, I jabbed him with it Luckily, he collapsed after I gestured to my head.
Right. You see him jotting down notes on a little notepad with him. About this time, the rest of the officers are done frisking your cohorts.
Yeah.
And
the nun? Did they frisk the nun?
They did frisk the nun.
Nice.
Let me. I haven't done anything.
Yes. So are you all here?
No, they came back right after I called you.
Oh, all right. Did you all see him come in or anything like that before he arrived? Any of you recognize this man?
Well, never seen
No.
this guy a day in my life.
And, you know why he was here? Why did he come in your house?
I just kind of gesture. As I said, he was rambling when he came in. Very pushy about something. I thought he was for the patient I had. As you know, I work on some fairly famous people. But I couldn't tell you.
Well, tell you what, I'll have the boys check around the house. You never know if these guys come in alone. We've had a lot of crazies come in packs, and the full moon's out and the crackheads are wandering the streets. They usually don't go out alone, so we'll make sure you're all safe and we'll get this guy in a car. All right, Johnson, load him up. You two, check around. Make sure it's safe for Mr. Bissett here. Now, is the patient appropriately dressed, or do we need to give them a moment?
She's coming out of anesthesia herself, so I'll walk you to the room, but let me check first. Though I once again put blood on my head, put my hand up to the blood on my head. So maybe I should wrap this.
Right. Maybe you should just stay here. What room is it in? And we'll just give a gentle knock. We're trained for these sorts of social situations.
Anthony, if you could show them to the operating room. So please, as I said, my patients are want to have privacy. So if you could avoid, she was unconscious the whole time. So please avoid upsetting her.
Right,
Coming out of surgery is.
It's not my intention to mess up your business here, Mr. Nicholas. I just want to make sure that we don't have anyone, who may have slipped in while you were dealing with him.
Which reminds me,
could you
be the perfect time for the Uber person that I called the taxi to show up.
Could you go ahead and make that manipulation subterfuge check at difficulty 6 for me?
You'd like me to? Sorry?
No, Nicholas.
Oh, no.
Since he did say that he defeated the guy by stabbing him with anesthesia.
I said I sedated him, which is true. And then...
Well, you said you had anesthesia on you and you were sedating him with that, which is definitely not entirely accurate to how you diffuse the situation.
It's also completely true that I jabbed him with a bunch of anesthesia.
Yes, but it was not how you diffuse the situation. Yeah. He was already a little bit, fooshed before that. So could you make that roll for me?
Yeah. Does Anthony want to step in and help with that? Okay, if I can find that subterfuge. I'm trying to find the goddamn thing on the fucking list.
It's under talents.
Yeah, I found it.
Yes, if Anthony has a way of maybe magically bolstering your ability to lie.
Or distracting the chief or something.
If not anyone else in the room.
You think could give a shot at talking his ear off. At the very least. If you need distraction, I'm a big walking one.
Yep, that's a big old 0. Somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how that came up.
Huh. Oh, you're still at a minus.
Oh, I have 0 dice to roll on that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You
I
don't
cannot roll a manipulation subterfuge roll.
Oh, shit.
because you had 1 die and you're at a -1.
Wait.
This is a very good plan.
Okay.
Oh.
You guys said you were going to take care of the lying for me.
No, but
No.
you're trying to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you led the whole thing. You just
Yeah. You could have let us start lying for you, come up with a cool story. You were the one who had to say the truth.
Anyway.
Should've popped in.
I was waiting for you.
Captain Sullivan starts moving to the back of the house with Anthony showing him the way.
Yeah.
You can see him holding up the light and he opens a door here and there. There's a little closet. He shines it around, does a little breach, goes into the next one, and when he gets to the operating room, you let him know this is the one. And he just goes, well,
What does
You
that
wanna-
even mean?
what?
Is that an auto failure, or is that like? Does it mean I couldn't have said that?
Do you
Like I don't know how that works with
You
rolls
say
that
it,
you
you're just
can't
not-
make.
convincing.
Yeah, I'm just, as an officer,
I don't know if like
you
He's like,
you
"I don't
write
trust
down
you."
what the person says, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you're going to take someone with a blunt head trauma and start grilling them in an investigation. He just
Right.
wrote some notes down and he's moving on and continuing
no,
to
I
sleep
just
at the
I
house.
just meant like in general for the system. I don't know how trying to do
Uh.
something you have 0 dice for works.
Let me see if
I
we
don't
can
either, but I
work
feel
them.
like if I were to make a ruling on it, I would say you get like a luck die and you basically have an option to either succeed in the most minimalist fashion possible or fail or disastrously fail.
Okay, that seems fair. I was just curious. I've never run into that situation before.
Yeah, that's probably not one that comes up a whole lot. But that's what I would say, and if we end up changing that later, we'll make something about it.
Whatever.
But
That's cool.
he gestures towards the door for you to check in there and make sure she's okay and alone.
I will go and check.
You can see she's in there. She is passed back out with her phone in hand. She looks significantly less ridiculous than she did the last time you saw her. So you can reasonably deduce that the surgery was a success. Otherwise, the equipment seems to be not entirely cleaned up yet. Still a bit of a mess in there. Otherwise, she seems okay.
I mean, she's okay. I'm not really comfortable letting you in there. She's passed out.
It's all right, as long as she's alone and okay. That's all we're checking for. It's a very big house, so if they came alone, that's great, but we won't know until we know.
Yeah. Was there an extra car out front?
No, not... wait, are you asking?
Out of character. I didn't remember if you mentioned when they came in last time that if there was an extra car out front that he came in.
No, just, as far as you know, he was a walk-up.
Gotcha. Just curious about that. It's been a week.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Well, the police continue their, abysmal no chance for no dice. Well, yep, I guess that's when you have the discretion of determining if it is literally no chance or just abysmal chance. And I think that would be the abysmal. Regardless, the police continue their search. The one that searched Gemma just makes a note that she's carrying a teacup in her pocket, which is kind of weird. A little odd one, this girl is. But she's also, walking around in a habit in the rain. Kind of weird. Kind of weird, champ.
I'm a nun.
Weird flex, Emma.
Yeah,
Well.
no, she's the weird one. Yep.
We're normal.
After about an hour of police stomping around the estate and doing a thorough check, Captain Sullivan comes back and he points to the other officers to make sure that the man that has been arrested is removed from the premises and taken on down for processing. Well, You don't seem to be in that great of a state, lad. Would you be able to give us a comment tomorrow? Would you be able to come down to the station? Or should we send a squad over here?
I should be able to come down to the station. I'll have Anthony drive me.
Sounds like a good idea. I know you're probably not going to get some good sleep tonight, but try to rest up, lad. And then we'll get this all sorted tomorrow. And of course, if anything else happens, feel free to call me directly. Though I do suggest in the future to call that 911 number. Dispatchers could be a little bit faster than I can, depending. You almost caught me on my way back to the wife. Just about to head on home, so you caught me at a good time, but might not happen like that again in the future, lad.
I will attempt not to get assaulted in the future. Thank you.
I mean, call a 911 instead of my personal number.
I'll just nod to him.
Right. Well, hope your friends take care of you. You all try to have a good one, best you can. He opens the door to the thunderous sound of the rain pouring down, and you can see the passed out man in the back of the cruiser as they pull off. Lights off, sirens off, back into the dead of night. The door closes, leaving you all alone in the estate. Alone until you hear the sound of someone in the back of the house. Hey! I'm hungry! Daddy always makes me good dinner. Where is he?
Speaking of which...
Oh god, she's still you?
Yes. Sure would have been nice to have somebody here to help with this.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can still make something up.
Did I manage to call a cab?
I don't remember. I remember you picking up her phone and calling Daddy, and then her
telling
talking to
him
Daddy.
that we were gonna get her to, you know, her accommodations so he could pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I hadn't, I'm gonna have to. And Anthony, if you could get her something to eat. Light, please. She's just had surgery.
Absolutely.
Well, in that case, then you can just get her an Uber or a taxi or something like that.
Yep, that was the plan.
You've got the resources for it, for sure?
Yeah, no.
And you can just
I'm
add
all
it
out
to
of
her
resources
bill?
at this point.
Just put it on her tab for now.
Yeah.
And, Anthony, go ahead and give me that, crafts, dexterity, and, just tell me what you're making. How difficult?
Not going very difficult. Family dinner, just some chicken, mashed potatoes, rolls.
Okay, just do it at a 6 then for me. Mr. Anthony DeLuca.
You're gonna make a chicken in the time it takes a cab to get here?
You really do need time magic for that.
No, I'm not.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's 3
You're gonna
ones.
set my kitchen on fire is what's gonna happen.
Oh my god, that is
Yeah.
amazing. How did you get that many ones? Well, you're planning to make a very...
I did forget to add 2 more. I didn't put the modifier into there. So maybe these last 2 D10s.
Let's see.
2 more ones.
You just
2 more
roll
ones.
2 D10s on the side. Just go over to the side thing and get D10 too. There you
Okay,
go.
so it's just a 0.
It's just a 0.
So good, my kitchen.
you go to make her some easy chicken and rolls, and you end up realizing that the chickens were turned. were passed. They were no good. So after you go through the whole cooking process, you do your due diligence and take a bite yourself and go, that's foul. And while you were focused on that, the rolls overcooked and got turned into hard, dry clods of bread. The dinner has been ruined.
You're gonna need that Uber to go to McDonald's.
Just make her some soup or something.
I don't have time.
Yep, about this time, the Uber pulls up. It's raining outside something fierce, and it's time for her to go.
Right. Well, someone put her in the cab. I'm covered in blood. Or I probably cleaned up and hopefully... Should I make a doctor medical check to, bandage my wounds?
Could I say that, like, as part of the police showing up, they would have rendered you first aid as part of that? Because I think in retrospect, the police totally would have done that.
I love them breaching the home to go like, oh, check every room. Oh, hey, you're here. Yeah, you got a head wound. Oh, anyway, what happened? But that's not completely wrong. But I'm just saying, that's wow. That's on the nose.
I didn't mean to rush that part, but I do think they would have helped patch up your head wound and stuff like that. So
that's good.
So yeah, you could take that down to like maybe get rid of the bashing and keep the lethal for the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been in the next Quotey Fingers scene anyway, so that makes sense to me. Regardless, who's walking her out there?
I mean,
I guess
me and Anthony should both do that.
All right. You all go out in the pouring rain, and she gets inside the Uber, and you all tell the Uber where to go to, first of all, get her some McDonald's and put your card on the account to get charged. But as she's about to pull away, you see her reach into her purse, and she pulls out a little bottle that looks like a prescription medicine bottle, and she pops it open and eats one and says, Daddy told me not to forget before I went to bed today to take this.
Oh, that's a perception check.
All right. Give me a perception alertness at difficulty 6. It's right there in front of you. She ain't hiding it.
Okay, so I just shouldn't be rolling tonight.
Jeez, man. You just soak up all the ones. Well,
I mean, I am the entropy one, so yeah.
Being a doctor and having some routine exposure to the various forms of pills and medicine and whatnot, you can see that the prescription on the bottle is not a brand or generic that you're aware of, and the pill shape itself does not seem to correspond with one that immediately comes to mind. It's like a little oblong white tablet, and it has no discernible marking on it.
Illicit drugs, not medicine. Gotcha.
And then
that'll be through chemistry.
After that, the guy says, I gotta get going.
Yep. He does.
Close the back door, and the Uber heads off, and you're left standing outside the estate in the pouring rain.
Huh.
Now, can Ethan teleport a pill from that bottle?
Can he? I'm a correspondence 3, baby. Let me double check that. Double checking that. Hold on. Before I actually go off and do that.
The farther away it is, the harder it's going to be. And also, I think you would need to have a sphere of matter.
Oh, yeah, let me double check the thing. I remember that being a very, very specific detail.
Mm-hmm. By combining Correspondence 3 with forces, life, or matter, the mage can move things around from a distance, levitating, manipulating, or teleporting them without physical contact.
So this is an interesting idea. Hold up. So, teleporting, yes. However, I'm looking through the table of wonderful ideas for things you can try out.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that it's recommended that you could utilize Correspondence 2+ for a time and distance related shenanigans thing. So that's just for who to aim at. Levitation/flying technically only really requires Correspondence 3. Oh, does the oh wait, slash would mean combine. This is not a and or situation. Damn it. Yeah, the way they've laid this out, maybe I think for 2 seconds, yay, I have this, and then no.
Oh.
No. You don't have this.
Courses 2 or Correspondence 3/life 2. Wait, how does that work? I'm looking at the table. This is weird.
Which table
Also,
are
I
you
can't
looking
help
at?
but notice.
Or what page?
PDF page 510, 509 in the book.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the table of different effects you can do for common magical effects and how to get around to doing them. I also can't help but notice, but Correspondence is on like very little of the table, and I've specialized in that. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
I know these are ideas, but it's more like, geez.
Because Correspondence is really good at putting your other magic into other places.
Now, if only I had other magic. I got a little bit of time, but Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's frustrating.
Yeah,
Now,
looks like opening a portal would require Correspondence 4.
I could do something weird, like instead of it being a cutscene, so to speak, of pills go away, she leaves. I could do something like she puts her pills away and they happen to be left on the ground. I move where they end up. Would that be a viable decision? Is that a thing that could work? For a small object, would that matter?
Say exactly again what you want, just to make sure I understand.
In order to make it coincidental enough that the universe doesn't go annihilate your entire body for doing this, my logic is she has to put away the bottle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, what if she puts her bottle away in, say, her purse or what have you? But she does the common thing that everyone does every single day, where she thought she put it in the purse, i.e., it goes into the purse, it goes onto the ground instead. Everyone does that. They drop their car keys and forget about them. They drop their chapstick in a public place, and we're pretty sure they put it in their pocket. You get the idea?
Let's see. You can extend your senses. You've got a 3 dot, so you can do
Correct.
pretty good there. Taking space to cover tracks.
The problem here is the combination thing.
Let's see.
Yeah.
How are you
Not
making her
build.
not put it into the purse or pocket where she thinks she did?
Gosh.
Yeah, it seems like you have to
think
mix
really
it
that's your common.
with matter if you want to like manipulate things at a distance like that. Like your ability to sense things at a distance seems to be what's really good for Correspondence alone, but it's that mixing of things that lets you do specific manipulations like that.
But now, if you want to affect a probability of a chance of an event happening,
that's more entropy.
Large enough for her to step through. These minor gates are small and temporary, but allow the character to step from one place to another so long as she's alone and lightly encumbered. Scoping out the new location is a good area, of course. A close, familiar destination requires fewer successes than a distant, unfamiliar one. So I think if you were...
to me that if the objects are small enough, then it shouldn't matter. Small and light.
Right.
Since you're allowed to take things with you, right?
Yeah, it seems that teleporting large items or while carrying heavy loads demands Correspondence 4. Scoping out a new location is a good idea, a close familiar destination. So, what you probably could do, if I were to guess, is not specifically teleporting just the bottle of pills, but perhaps tearing a hole in space, reaching your own hand through, and grabbing the pills, and then pulling it back through.
That could work.
But it requires you to physically grab the pills and pull them to where you're at instead of just like teleporting the pills there.
Fair.
Okay.
I would be willing to give that a shot. If it is a surprisingly decent pickpocket.
So, there's going to be a couple things going on here. First of all, it was Anthony and Nicholas that helped her out to the taxi or the Uber, right?
Yep.
So he didn't have any familiarity with the purse or with the pills. He doesn't know what they look like. He might have seen the purse on her person because he did get to see her once while she was in there before the surgery and on the way out. However, he didn't see the bottle of pills, so there's some unfamiliarity there. The Uber's already started to drive away, and so it's not going to be in a very familiar location, especially since, unless you got GPS on her, you're not going to be tracking her exactly, so it's going to be hard to pin her down, too. Right. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very difficult to do this.
So, question for future instances of this in play, because I want to better understand as a player what I can and can't do, and I'm a little frustrated because I'm realizing I'm basically being told, you're not getting this. In the future, if there is a cutscene of sorts going on explaining what's happening, and at the end I go, actually, I'd like to do this, is that a case where at that moment that the cutscene, so to speak, ends, the description of events, then my action happens? Or do I need to interrupt to say, actually, I'm going to do this? Because I've been avoiding doing that to avoid interrupting the full play.
Oh, absolutely interrupt me. Just tell me what you want to do then.
Understood. Yeah. Wasn't sure about that. I was trying to be polite.
No. That's just if you want to do something, just tell me you want to do it. I don't mind being interrupted because that's where you guys do your agency. What would you have done differently then?
So, Ethan would have nothing else to really do while she's walking out, and he would probably follow the group. Because he's tagging along and learning what the hell is going on with them. He wouldn't just be sitting in a vague corner somewhere staring at a wall like an NPC.
You're very Snoopy.
He's very Snoopy. He's very much the roguish type. And I don't just mean that because that's his character archetype, his nature, but because he's just that kind of guy. He's Snoopy. He likes stuff. He likes learning stuff about people.
Okay. I do want to point out that I asked who's going to walk her out to the Uber, and nobody really suggested anything other than Anthony and Nicholas.
Apologies.
So
then we can forget about all this and just roll forward. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find better ways to interact here.
Also, we lost Kiana in Roll20.
Oh, we did.
Kiana's
there you go.
Kiana's here.
Okay.
I just saw that she wasn't in the game because it had ID underneath her reactive. But I mean,
sorry.
If you want to retcon that, and let's just have you out there. I'll have you make another perception alertness check at difficulty 6 to see if you see that bottle and all of that too.
Okay.
Also, feel free to interrupt in Nicholas as well. Like, don't let him push everybody around and just talk. If you want to do something, say so.
Okay. Fair enough. You don't get as much information, but you definitely see that it is a prescription bottle, and she pops out a pill and then scarfs that down.
At the very least, she wants to know what the heck that is. Drugs.
Drojas.
I don't want to leave it on that word. I just don't know. No. Ethan's a pill fiend. No, he takes a look. He's been curious about what the heck has been going on with Nicholas's. What the heck he's doing here? He has this random celebrity-looking woman here. Does some vague surgery he doesn't want us to see or know anything about. What are these pills that she's taking, huh? He's going to attempt to pickpocket a purse from the inside.
Okay. In that case, take
a grab of whatever's in there.
Specifically trying for the pills, or just you're going to grab whatever?
Grab for the pills, but he'll take what he can get, basically.
All right. In that case, then let's go ahead and do. Can you do that as a 2? Extensions, however, leave minor ripples in space. Deducts 1 success from the roll. Trying to aspire. Adding life for that. You can grasp small items or organisms. House cat are smaller and pull them through tiny holes in space. So lets her snatch business cards. Man, it really makes it sound like you have to add in something else to pull anything through.
Then never mind any of this. I feel like I've screwed up my character build, I gotta be honest. Oh my god.
I would say you could do this, though. You could definitely look inside the bag. It's not like completely dark. You could also see exactly what's on the label or what's in the pills, because sensing at a distance is what you can do with correspondence. Moving and manipulating things over the space seems to require you to mix other things in, but your ability to sense things at a distance is what's really useful here.
Right. Okay. Really feeling like I picked out the wrong set of abilities. Because everything I want to do is like, hey, yeah, so you gotta combine this with literally anything else. It's like, cool, I've got 2 time. Alright. Yeah. Sorry for the hold up. Ethan's gonna try to at least see what's on that bottle, and we'll call it there.
Okay. Then give me an Arete at difficulty 5.
Can do.
Yep.
5. There's a 1.
All right. So as I described to Nicholas, you see the bottle and it just has some... it says something like palaferane on it. 250 milligram, 40 tablets. Take once a week.
Okay.
However, Nicholas would know that that is just some mumbo jumbo, and that doesn't actually describe any sort of medicine that he's ever heard of. And hopefully,
I've heard of medicine before.
And watch there now be some commercial on TV running palaferame, and I am now going to be sued to the ground for calling it mumbo jumbo.
You're probably fine. There's no X's or Z's in it.
Aside from the strange part of her saying that for any time before she goes to bed, she needs to take that pill. The bottle says once a week.
So what do you all do now?
Shoot.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
We need to locate the dragon.
Should I get to the point where I start yelling at you all?
Oh yeah. Nicholas. Yes. Yeah. So we opened the box, by the way.
What?
We kind of figured it out. We forgot about that. Yeah.
What about it? There was nothing wrong with the box.
I'm sure I have a scalpel around here somewhere. How badly did I hurt my head?
I mean, it's a superficial wound.
No, I'm saying this is in character.
Oh. Sorry. Continue.
Are you telling me that the reason while you were all, aside from Gemma, gone, Anthony, was that you decided to take the box and just open it somewhere else?
No, that is not why we were gone.
But that was what happened.
See, you thought you knew all of this. Boy. No, what happened is we realized that we could investigate the box safely without opening it.
And that's what we did.
And so that's going to be a roll.
But
you either believe me or you don't. We could do that, thanks to Ethan's abilities, but it being a closed box, we also needed to put light into the box safely. So we left so that we could find Gemma. And so, no, we did not leave to open the box.
You left to use magic to look inside the box.
Yes.
And then you opened the box.
Well, then we found out it was just a book in there.
Oh, just a book.
Yeah. Just a book.
Do we happen to know any other books that have had strange magical consequences of effects from being in existence? I look at Gemma.
Sounds like we have experience with that kind of thing then. Gee.
And it was locked in a box, sealed in a basement, underneath a death field.
I mean,
Yeah,
And
but
what happened when you opened the box and looked inside?
I mean, it's not like it was really that easy to open either.
Oh, so it was magically sealed as well then.
I mean, it popped open for Father Andrew, so I figured how hard could it actually be to get it opened?
Why did you take the box to Father Andrews?
I got upset about that too. Yeah.
Because he saw it, he thought, hey,
Why did you take the box to Father Andrews? He's sick, recovering, and you took a magical cursed box into his house.
He's saying a bunch of prayers in the house now to cleanse it. It's fine.
What? Why would... If he's cleansing the house, does that mean you told him it was cursed?
Told him it could be. So that he would throw the box back at us and not open it.
I'm gonna stab all of you. Gonna stab all of you and start over with new people who aren't so... I'm just gonna walk off.
I think you might want to choose better wording for that.
Well, I mean, he did injure his head.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And I'm not going to stop from doing what we actually needed to do, so let's find this dragon.
Oh, yes, right. Emma will go ahead and pull the book out from her sleeve and open it up and peer through. Try to find this dragon.
All right.
Our boy Thaumacool.
Give me an Arete at difficulty 4.
Will do.
All right. So you pull out the book, and as you peer into it, the pages take on that familiar transparency for a moment. But then the center where the crease is in the pages, it begins to glow with a yellow light, and it freckles and splits and glitters and glows, and the transparency goes away as an opaqueness takes over the center of the spine of the book, and it bleeds outwards as this glittery yellow seems to disappear out towards the edges. Then, when you originally picked up the book, I had mentioned that there were little notes scribbled on it at the time, most likely referencing Josephine's own little words here and there, mentioning of a tree, of water, of bird. And those words then grow larger. They sort of get like bold on the edges of the pages and take on a purple hue, and that purple hue then bleeds out over the text. It moves from letter to letter over the pages until all of the letters glow that soft purple and then bleed outward over the rest of the paper. And then the transparency returns, and you can see back into the spiritual realm inside the Beset Estate. And inside the Beset Estate, in the spiritual realm, you can see that much like how the church is on the inside, this is like a massive fortress. And you can see the walls are lined with pictures of what you can only assume to be the ancestors of the Besets throughout the ages. And as you direct it towards the back, you can see a familiar harvest spirit standing over the trash can where the failed chicken dinner is resting.
Aw, there's Thaumacool. Hey, boy. Who's a good dragon? You're a good dragon. And why have I started talking to Thaumacool like a dog?
Okay, well, I guess let's make some tea up.
Mm-hmm.
We can get some lavender tea. I think that's what teacup turned it into.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
All right. So you're gonna go make some tea, sit down with Thaumacool?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think you need to roll for the tea.
I mean, with the way I'm rolling tonight, maybe.
Fair enough. But I think just boiling the water and dipping that in there is not the same as preparing a meal. But he's very, entrenched in that trash can, looking up all the leftovers there. Where are you gonna do this little sit down with him?
I don't see why we have to do it anywhere else than just the kitchen.
Yeah, just the kitchen.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Go and set the book down and pour your cup of tea. And once the book is placed down, Thaumacool perks his little head up out of the trash can and comes over, and he gives a little sniff of the book there. And nothing immediately seems to happen.
I'll place a cup of lavender tea near where Gemma says Thaumacool is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
You see his head loom over the cup, and he gives a couple licks. And he seems mighty pleased with himself. I will remind you that something... do you remember what happened last time when you were exposing things to the book?
Yes, I believe so.
What was contained in the book when you first started flipping through it?
Nothing.
Okay. And then what happened when Teacup was next to it?
Some pages near the end started to fill in automatically.
And how did you know? How did you know where they were?
Either we flipped through it,
Wasn't there like a voice?
Teacup just kind of pointed in the direction of it.
Right.
So the book's just sitting there right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll flip through it.
All right. You start turning through the pages, and you see somewhere near the front half of the book, the words have now appeared on the pages, and you settle back into it and see that much earlier, before Teacup was mentioned inside this journal, you can see that there was a time when the person writing the book wrote about a very kind spirit that wandered onto her cabin that seemed to be lost out in the woods all by itself and was alone. And she offered it a place of comfort to rest, and she was enamored with its ability to help the tea leaves that she was growing in her garden bloom. This spirit seemed to respond well to her little creations in the hunt, between the tea that she made and the small bits of baked goods. She said that she would make it a lovely meal. And almost routinely on a daily basis, it would come back, help her grow some new stuff while it enjoyed the things that it made. And that she shared over the next couple of weeks the company of this spirit. It was transient. It never stayed around for too long, but it was a regular visitor that would show up and enjoy some food, and almost transactionally in response would help more of hers to grow. She also offered at one point to invite it into her own body as a ritual that she performed. That helped a lot of spirits, that she said, in helping them connect to the material world. However, the spirit was never inclined to take her up on that offer, and instead just enjoyed her company.
Invite into her body? Like a possession? Hold on. This is starting to make sense. I think I know where the possession part came from now. Of the whole... Yeah.
Anything in there about, like, any deals made with this spirit?
Well, she mentioned that it seemed like it responded to being treated to a meal with rewarding her with better grown crops and stuff.
Okay. That's easy to take care of.
Anything else you guys want to do?
Not right now.
Nicholas, what are you up to?
Oh, you know, stuff.
Stuff?
I think Nicholas is gonna go and sit down in his sanctum and meditate on how things have gone, and he now has, extra worries on top of everything else, and people that are around him that he no longer feels he can trust, and about the fact that he needs to get as strong as possible to deal with all these things coming at him, and possibly spend some experience, have a spiritual awakening.
All right. What do you want to
Possible.
spend your experience on then?
Well, if it is at all possible, and I've put in enough work and stuff to it, I want to raise my arete to 4.
Ah. Okay. Well, if you want to raise that arete to 4, you are going to have to go on a bit of a spiritual journey here. So,
after reaching some sort of what some may call a psychotic break and some may call enlightenment.
Well, let's see. We will... That's going to be a pretty heavy undertaking. It might be something that you want to do the next morning, unless you're going to stay up all night doing it. Potentially.
I have to potentially be at the doctor, at the police the next morning too, or the next day at some point. I don't think he's in the right state of mind to be doing this in the smart way of getting rested up at the moment.
Let's see. Arete. So you're going to be going up to 4, so current rating times 8, so that's 24 experience.
Yep, out of my 32 that I've been saving up since basically the beginning of this game.
Okay. And with that...
Should put me at 8 then, right?
Yeah, that would put you at 8. So you need to get stronger. You need to expand the horizons of your magical capabilities. And in doing so, that means you basically need to reinforce your personal philosophy. Now, it's not something I've made you guys like restate constantly in our little intros in here. But for everyone out there that's watching, can you give them a reminder, a gentle nudge as to what your guiding philosophy is, where the source of your magic comes from?
My character's guiding philosophy in general is that though people are flawed, they can become, perfect in their own right. And that he wants to... He's basically a human ascensionist, where he believes people have the ability to become... he wouldn't think of it as gods because, he's very non-religious, but, they have the ability to perfect themselves and alter the world through that. Everyone has an ideal that they, strive towards, an ideal form, an ideal philosophy, an ideal, personality and the like that they wish they were. And he believes everyone can reach that with, help and science and effort.
I am going to quickly just look back over this for a moment. I know we're spending a lot of time in the rules book on this episode, so hopefully you guys are okay with that. Again, this is my first time storytelling this, so please bear with me here.
We knew that when we got into this.
Yep. It's just that the book is also not the best structured for...
There's also a problem.
So basically right now you are schooled and we're moving up to disciplined in the Arete. 1 and 2, the mage must focus his arts through a paradigm, practice at least 7 instruments. Mystic mages begin to realize that magic comes from internal excellence and not from external focus. Beginning at Arete 3, a mystic mage can begin to discard the instruments that she uses to focus her magical style. Although she doesn't have to stop using her tools, she can discard 1 instrument per dot in Arete over the second. Or 4. So once you reach Arete 4, you can start discarding your focuses. Since you didn't start there, we're going to say you can then discard some of your focuses or keep them and use those as a way to reduce difficulty. However, that was not exactly what I was trying to look up. I wanted to see what they prefer that you do for seekings. Here we go. We did the seeking for Gemma on the last one to expand her avatar. And that is, in game terms, your mage needs to go on a little bit of a journey here. Purchase Arete. Chapter 7 features more detail about seekings. Okay. Chapter 7. Telling the story. Elements of the mage. Yes, the inner self, we did that. Seeking journeys of insight. Depend on the mage's belief, allegiance, and your personal avatar. You get a lot of ideas about them in various groups described in here. Rules for seeking. Okay, seeking plays out without rules. Well, then that's good for this. It's a contest of imagination, not dice. At certain points, you might demand a willpower roll. Then, when the character needs to stand firm or make a hard choice beyond that. However, you should avoid chart checking. There's no paradox in Seekings, and magic works by default. The ultimate result get determined by the decisions your player makes, not by his dice pool or luck. Seekings are deliberate events. The player and his mage decide that they want to advance along the path, and so you plot out the details of that seeking and then run a one-person mini-episode. Each mage goes seeking alone, and the other players sit out, perhaps taking on supporting roles if you want them to do so, until the seeking ends. For obvious reasons, a seeking makes for an excellent solo episode between regular sessions. Thanks to the internet, you can now play seekings out over instant messages, Skype, blah, 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 blah. Consistent elements in seeking. So this seems like something that would be very intricate, and I should probably do a bunch of prep for. So
sounds like.
I
So
think
we can just put this as a step on the way then.
Yeah, we could just say you will start your awakening tonight, but I will have to plan something out pretty strong for you in the future.
Gotcha.
And then maybe we can have that at the start of an episode, or maybe I can start early next week. Something. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. But let's I know you want to spin that experience now, but let's hold off on that for the moment, okay?
Jump that back up.
Yep.
That's fine.
And we'll focus on that next time, because I think I'm going to have to put some... I don't want to half-ass that when it seems like something that you're supposed to do as a major event for a mage moving up in the world, you know? In that case, then... what do you guys want to do now? You got a little bit more information out of the book. Nicholas wants to start on a journey, but you probably need to get a little guidance in that first, or need to maybe not be in such an emotionally charged state. Maybe
collapse into some sleep or something.
Yeah, is it about bedtime for people?
It is late, and I'm exhausted and injured.
I know,
it has been a full day.
I know everyone's a little low on resources.
Yes, there's also that, but it's not polite to point that out.
Gemma, are you going to be staying here, or are you going to venture through the rains back to the church?
I'll venture back to the church.
Okay. You're not gonna ask for a ride, or are you just gonna walk in the rain?
I'm just gonna go. But before I go, I'll just say to Thaumacool, be like, alright, be a good dragon, stay here. There's plenty of good food for you, not so much at the church, so...
Apparently not anymore. True.
I mean, I think
Anthony,
Thaumacool liked
you know?
plenty.
I mean, I didn't ruin all of the food.
Maybe Thaumacool's the reason the chicken went bad. He seems to like rot things that he's around.
Well, in that case, then, Gemma, on your walk back home, could you please give me a perception awareness check at difficulty 7?
Perception awareness? I suppose I could, but I don't know what kind of...
Gemma gets attacked in the middle of the night.
Weird shenanigans could happen. You said 6, right?
7.
7. Okay. That's my bad.
Okay. Despite the rain and the thunderstorm that's going on, as you approach the church, you recognize a sensation. The swelling of certain divine or magical forces coming from near the fountain on the side of the church.
Well, that's odd. I'll tiptoe over to the fountain and kind of inspect it a little bit. Maybe even pull out my book. I know that it's raining, but I don't know. This piques my interest.
Well, as you round the corner, before you can even summon up the book and perform anything with it, you notice that the vegetation around the fountain has grown incredibly thick. The vines are starting to grow up the wall, and they're flowering, and blooming quite brightly. And you can see that there is some very, despite it being vines, it looks really thick. Almost like a tree trunk is up against the side of the church right now. That definitely wasn't there earlier in the day when you were having your moment.
Oh my. This. Huh. Well, this certainly is something. Where did all this come from? I'd like to take a little closer look at these plants. Do they look familiar to me at all, or?
No, it looks like overgrown vegetation, some tall grass and some wildflowers, and the thick vines going up the side of the church. Maybe some sort of ivy, but nothing extraordinary beyond that. However, at closer inspection, it kind of looks like a human shape to it.
I'll continue pulling out my book.
Okay.
I want to see this through the spirit world. I mean, this vaguely humanoid shaped thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just
Irritate difficulty 4?
Yes, that. So as I bury my nose into my book and look at this through it, what do I see?
Well, as I said before, your view into the spiritual world around the church seems to have taken on a slightly different flavor to it. Where once before it was a cathedral of divine inspiration, it seems to now be more of a prison in its appearance. And outside in this fountain area, you do see that there is still that overgrowth of vegetation and a very vivid fountain overflowing with water. And you know what? It looks magnificent, but you don't see a representation of this thing in the spiritual realm.
So, hold on. This has no presence in the spiritual world?
No. And it now peels away from the wall. This humanoid shape of plants and twisting vines and root. And it begins to bend towards you.
I close my book because this is becoming rapidly apparent that it is not helping in this situation. And I hold it up over me a little bit, like protectively, and I just go, what are you? Who are you? What is going on here?
It just continues to loom towards you. It stretches out what looks to be an arm of vines, and though it doesn't have fingers, you can see what would be the hand is moving towards you. And now a leg peels off the wall with the vines and trudges towards you.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Everything I know has had a presence in the spiritual world. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
some things in Mage are not spirits. Sometimes there's things that are not spiritually related. There are other spheres.
I do know that. I just mean, like... Well, I guess people don't show up in the spirit world either. So... Huh. Okay.
It's moving closer to you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Can I...
Inches.
I don't know if this... I want to use... I have no idea. How do I collect this?
You're going to need the fight or flight because it's right on top of you, Gemma.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my thermos of holy water, and I'm going to splash at it, and as I do, I'm just going to command, stop. Try to use life magic to just force it to stop moving.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and make an irritate at difficulty 6.
Okay.
Very nice. So, the roots that make up its body begin to seize, and despite its hand reaching towards you, it stands perfectly still. The rain's falling down on it, and little droplets of water accumulate across its various leaves and vines and trickle down. And you can see the place on the wall behind it that was dry where it was covering is slowly getting wet as the rain pours down. In a flash of lightning, you can see that where its face would be is 2 hollow holes where eyes are, and a mouth that is gaped open, long and twisting.
I'll be real with you, Chief. I think this is the most terrifying moment of my life. But Gemma will take a hesitant step back before taking a swig of her holy water, letting it roll around her tongue before she speaks to it and tries to use... So, you know how I'm able to use spirit to talk to spirits?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to talk to a plant. Does that make sense?
I mean, I don't know. IRL? No, that makes absolutely no sense. But you know what? For a mage campaign, that seems reasonable to me. Let me just double check real fast on here.
I don't know if this more counts as minds. I was just wondering if, like, since it's a plant, I don't know.
I feel like that's a very tall ask. Possibly it would require mixing mind and life together to do that.
I see.
So if you could mix mind and life, I would say yes. But
I cannot, though.
Just straight life, I feel like that's a no. The closest thing you could probably do is turn yourself into a plant and then see if you can communicate with it that way. But I get the strong feeling that that probably wouldn't be very successful either without some other kind of miracle coming into play here.
Okay. The thing's giving me the heebie-jeebies. I need to deal with it somehow.
Well, the thunder's rolling. The rain's pouring down even harder now.
Listen. If you can listen, I don't know. I don't know what you are, but just stay put. Don't do anything. I want to go to bed. And with that, Gemma will take a few hesitant steps back before going for the door to the church.
All right. In that time, you move towards the side door to the church that leads into the kitchen. And just as you're opening the door, you can see that the little leaves on this thing begin to move again, outside of just the wind blowing it, and soon to follow the roots do. Its arm, where you were standing, now lowers, and its whole body is completely rigid, facing in the same direction, except its head turns towards you. And in the brief flash of light from the lightning, you can see its cold, empty holes staring right towards you. And then a rooted leg unlatches from the ground, squelches in the wet mud towards you. Again. Every couple seconds, one step closer to the door.
This is going to be a problem, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Gemma squares up, and as she does, she wraps the rosary around her left hand. And let me think. As she does, she's going to say, listen, if you're going to cause any problems for me right now, I'm going to make sure you wither and rot. And with that... Yeah, I'm squaring up. Gemma's ready to freaking punch this thing.
All right. In that case, then, why don't you go ahead and give me an initiative roll?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, that's covering that. All right. You stand firm in the rainstorm, ready to perform whatever action it is, and it seems that you've got the upper hand in this case. The slow-moving plant thing in front of you doesn't seem to react to your stance at all. What do you do, Gemma?
What I'm going to do is, I know the second best thing that can deal with a plant, other than fire, of course, is the winter. And I'm going to take advantage of all this water. Can I attempt to freeze the water that is on this thing?
You could absolutely do that. So
I would love to.
If you want to, I would say there's a couple ways you could go about it. But let's hear what Gemma's ideas are about making this water freeze on it. In your mind, through the philosophy of your mage, how do you intend on freezing the water on this plant?
Gemma wouldn't help but remember that the... hold on. Am I actually accurate about this? Hold on. I need to check on my information. Yeah, okay, I am right. Okay. Gemma would just so happen to remember that the deepest pits of hell are the coldest.
Mm.
And she wants to channel that right now. Let this thing that would cause mayhem on this holy ground feel that.
If I remember correctly, a part of your certain rules of magic is that you couldn't cast it on something else, that you had to channel it through yourself, right? Wasn't that a thing? Or am I misremembering? It's been a while since I looked over your little personal rule list.
You're right.
If I were to make a suggestion, what if you made it so that all of the freezing chill of hell was controlled within your fist, and you had to grasp at it or punch it or something like that?
I was just about to suggest that, yeah. You're right.
Does that sound good?
That sounds wonderful to me.
In that case, then, that sounds like some forces that we're going to have to redirect, and it also sounds like you're going to have to land a punch. So, let's first see if you land your punch. Do a dexterity and describe to us how you use your martial arts, because I'm assuming you're going to use your martial arts.
Oh, I'm going to use my martial arts.
Tell us what you do to this plant creature.
I get down in my position, pull my hand back in kind of like a... I've always been told it's like a shelving position, where it's like all the way back, knuckle, palm up, everything. And then, as soon as she feels like she has what she needs, just punching out, twisting her fist into this thing.
All right. Then roll your dexterity martial arts at difficulty 6. All right. And just before the moment when your palm twists and lands the strike on the plant, you can feel the bitter chill of damnation come pouring through your hand. Give me that arete at difficulty 6.
Okay. No. No freaking way.
Well.
Oh no.
The chill is only enough to cool your hand as you land your palm strike. Give me, let's see, you have a strength of 3. The being will try to soak that. There we go. Oh. So when you strike, you feel your hand hit the twisted amalgamation of various woods and whatnot as they are a bit soft. They aren't like stone. You feel some amount of crumple, but it's not enough to push it back. And now, as your hand retracts, as a trained martial artist would to not leave it open, you can see the wide berth of the branches of its arms reach around you and try to grab hold of you. Please make a dexterity or strength brawl check to see if you can escape this grapple.
Oh, I'll go with dexterity.
Okay.
Difficulty 6, I assume, since this is competed.
Yep.
Okay. That's a 1.
Well, you go to take a step back and you don't realize that one of the roots is now behind your leg, and you begin to stumble as it catches you in the back. Your long habit makes it easy for you to get a hold of, and now the twisting vines are wrapping around your legs and arms. It's your turn.
It is around me. It is all around me. I know this didn't work last time, but I feel like I have to punish this thing for even daring to lay a hand on me right now. No, you damnable thing.
Bad plant monster. Bad.
And I would like to channel that cold and try to do it like through my entire body at this point.
Oh, okay.
Just to try to force it to let go of me.
All right. Since you are trying to do an effect again that you've already failed at once, the difficulty will be increased.
Do I have any quintessence or anything? I do have quintessence.
You do have quintessence.
I will use a quintessence.
All right. Then it will remain at a difficulty 6.
Okay.
As you once again tap into the hellish chill that only comes from the lowest depths of hell. You're embracing the vines almost, inviting it to touch your hands. And where it meets, the bitter cold frosts over. Water, as soon as it touches onto the branches, becomes frozen solid, as ice now encases it, just as you would see a tree after a blizzard, completely iced over. And the frost covers the bottom branches, and you can not hear a moan or any noise coming from the tree as if it was a sentient being. However, the sound of cracking wood begins to creak between each of its little splintery limbs holding on to you. However, frozen as they are still wrapped around you. You see, coming from the center of this amalgamation is a little pseudopod, a little green, fresh vine as it's growing outwards and moving from its chest towards yours. And it grows closer and closer until you can see it rubbing up against your habit and trying to reach inside to where you have your pockets stashed away.
Nope, not okay with that. Not okay with that.
You can feel it trying to grab at something, so I'm going to need you... Ooh, well, you're a little bit tied up at the moment, so this is going to be difficult. What are you going to do?
Yeah? Oh, I take it none of my hands are free.
Yes, they are wrapped in frozen wood at the moment.
The only thing I can immediately think to do is, okay, where's it trying to reach in through the habit? Is it like through the sleeves, or is it like down from below?
Down from, well,
what anime are we getting into?
Through the hole in your neck, going down into the habit that way.
There's only one thing that Gemma can think of to do about this. Gemma bites down on the vine.
Okay. All right, then make for me. Strength brawl? Difficulty 6? I don't think you learned any mouth techniques in your martial arts, did you?
No, not really.
None that a good Christian girl would know, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You bite down on the encroaching little sprout that's trying to sneak its way under your habit. And when you bite down on it, you immediately feel it go limp and wither in your mouth. And the part that you bit off then continues to grow. and continue on its path.
My God, are you serious?
It's a plant creature in the rain.
It sure is.
It reaches down into your habit, and you feel it grab a hold of something very large inside there. One of the big items that you pack around inside of your habit.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, taking advantage of the entire frozen nature of this being right now, I want to kind of shift my weight a little bit. Kind of like on the balls, like the ball of my foot with my right leg. And as I do, just channel as much as I can of my life energy into that one leg so that I can give this thing a massive just blow with my knee and try to just shatter it.
All right. So you're going to enhance your leg and then try to Captain Falcon knee it.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Then let's first pump them legs up. And let's have you do your life. That is a manipulation of self. So that's only a difficulty 5. So do your Arete difficulty 5 for us.
Okay. I will actually use Quintessence for this.
Okay, make it a 4 then.
I think that is reasonable. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I modified the wrong number there. I was doing the DP mod. Whoops.
Okay, that is 3 successes there. So, you feel a surge of energy build up in your leg. It noticeably grows in muscle mass, and you can feel the heft and weight as these new muscles build up from your pelvis down to your knees and then all the way down to your toes. And with that strength, you go for a very powerful knee on this. Go ahead and do a Dexterity Martial Arts at difficulty 6.
Dexterity Martial Arts coming right up. Difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that right? Hold on. Oh, no, that's Dexterity Brawl.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You definitely have way more dice than that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yes, well, that's even better. You land the blow, and with your extra incredibly thick legs that you got there, them thick thighs.
Extra thick.
You deliver an almost inhuman blow to this plant being. And the binds that were wrapped around that leg shatter. The frozen pieces of wood laid splinter at your feet. And that big hit to its chest blows open part of it, denting and spreading these vines. And it reels back. Its frozen limbs still maintaining the same shape, but your arms slip out of the binds. And the single tendril that's worked its way down your habit gets receded in agonizing pain, as you can see it coiling back and receding into this plant monster as it falls backwards. It then, now that it's no longer in connection to you, it reaches out one of its arms and simply rips off the frozen limb from one side. And then you can see little vines and plants growing out of it to rebuild itself. And then likewise, you see it take its own foot, those lower roots, and reach up to the other frozen arm and grab hold of it and rip that frozen one off. It's now standing in front of you like a humanoid figure with 2 arms missing, with little waggly roots coming out of them, reforming themselves. What do you do, Gemma?
I'm first going to mutter to myself, you really are some abhorrent being. Before... Well, the ice seems to really work. No, actually, I got something better. I take a little breather by pulling out my thermos and taking a swig before muttering to myself, a being like you does not deserve to live on this world. Before lunging at it, I'm going to slam my right fist into it, kind of like a haymaker, basically.
Okay.
Right to the side. And as I make contact, I want to use my life spheres to damage its life weave, which I believe I can do.
Yeah. We just did that with Nicholas, so I think that makes sense to me. However, it is on something else and not yourself, so it will be that 3 sphere of difficulty. In that case, then, let's first start with you landing the hit. Let's do your Dexterity Martial Arts at difficulty 6.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. I've got a strong feeling that one's gonna work just fine.
7 successes.
The blow is going to land. Let's go ahead and have you roll your Arete at difficulty 6 then for undoing its life pattern.
I will use a quintessence.
Okay, make that a difficulty 5 then.
Dang it! Oh, I hate that.
Your stance combined with your over muscular leg allows you to put as much power into the strike as you can muster. So strong, in fact, that you launch your hand through the core of this plant and it pierces all the way through it without leaving a scathe on your own. However, the powers that you try to call to undo the pattern don't seem to manifest, as the life pattern itself is absolutely intact. However, it does seem to be having difficulty growing back as you... Well, do you remove your hand from it? It pierced through.
No, actually. I
Okay.
will keep my hand in there.
You pierce through it and you can see, similar to how the arms are trying to regrow, there's little tendrils trying to reattach to each other, like they're little hands reaching out to each other, trying to grab a hold. But they aren't going. And you notice that the arms, despite now getting back out to about elbow length, have also stopped growing.
Okay.
It's large, the big holes in its eyes are looking down at you. It looms over you slightly, the shadow of its height, leaving you in some darkness, and the accompanying vines that make up its mouth begin to go towards your face and try to encapsulate it. What do you do?
The inside of it, does it feel dry-ish?
No, it seems to be pretty wet. It's mighty moist, you might say.
So in that case, I'm going to... My hand, that is already currently through it, I'm going to freeze that over, and then kind of like chainsaw pull, rip it out.
Okay.
And hopefully just trying to like sunder everything inside of this creature as I pull back.
Okay. Then let's first start with, since you're already in contact with it, I'm assuming this is the hand with the rosary on it too?
Correct.
Okay. Then go ahead and give us that Arete we've already done the freeze once, and you succeeded that time, so I think we're past that difficulty spike. So just make it as difficulty 6 again. Irritate difficulty 6.
Okay.
2.
Ooh,
All right.
okay.
Once again, you feel that familiar cold that you've brought out before. It took a little while to get that connection, but now it's becoming unsettling familiar to you. The damnation power. It's now coursing through you, and you can feel it leaching all of the life force, not the life pattern, but the heat that makes up a living creature, and it's drawing it out of it.
She's gone from a nun to using damnation power as a line.
Yeah. Give me a moment here. And the heat begins to draw out of each of the little twigs that make up its body, and in its chest you can see the frost coming over it, just as it was with the arms at its side, and the cold begins to creep out. You can even see a little bit of a fog coming from it as that cool, misty air comes out. Can you make a willpower save for me at difficulty 7?
I will certainly try to.
Okay. All right. And now, how are you're going to rip this icy frozen core from its center?
Yes. Yes, I am. Basically just trying to tear everything out using the jaggedness of the ice, well, if it is jagged, as like extra like rip and tear until it's done.
Okay. That sounds like it's not a very studied martial arts form, so why don't we go with a strength brawl check at difficulty 6?
Okay.
Well,
that's not too bad.
Your hand grabs a hold of the frozen center, and it has the moisture on your hand freezes to the ice, not only enhancing your grip, but it also chills your own hands pretty harshly. Give yourself 1 bruised or bashing damage.
Okay.
You get a little, not frostbite, but it's definitely extremely uncomfortable how this ice has frozen to your hand. But with that extra grip of the ice sort of fusing to your hand, you're able to rip out a big chunk of the center of this. And the center, its abdominal region, if we were to compare it to a human shape, completely collapses. And the part that was looming over you without structure falls on you. Its entire weight is being carried on your shoulders as its face is biting down on your head, and the little tendrils that remain where its upper chest was are wriggling free. And out of the corner of your eye, you can see where the hips and downward of this humanoid form were begin to separate and splinter apart from each other, unraveling and falling to the ground.
Oh, okay, all right. Huh. So it's biting down on me.
Yes, where its little pitted holes were in its head has wrapped around the top of your habit, where your head is. It has no arms to grip you. The only thing that's holding it up right now is its maw upon your skull.
So, okay. I think there is one thing that makes sense to me right now. In this whole, okay. Gemma is gonna drop down to her knees. Kind of like a pseudo prayer position, and she brings her hands up, not into a prayer, however, but to clasp over her head. And she intends on finishing this with one more cold grasp.
All right. Then give us that arete at difficulty 6.
Yikes.
Once again, your mind travels down to the pits of hell as you call upon the freezing force that's contained within the punishment that God befalls the sinners that find themselves there. However, the link is weakening, and you feel no cold come through your hands. This plant being that bites down on your head gives a strong gnaw. It's pretty painful. Give yourself another bashing damage.
Okay. Oh, right, yeah. It goes like...
Yeah, separate.
Boom, boom.
There you go.
Okay.
And once again, you feel a wriggling of a tentacle going down the neck of your habit. And it once again grabs a hold of whatever object it is that it grabbed the first time. Feels like one of the larger ones, perhaps the book or the box.
At this point, since my magic is failing me, I'd like to just grab a hold of it as hard as I can and just throw it. Try to yeet it as hard as possible.
All right. Is that going to use your Aikido?
It will use my Aikido.
Then give us a Dexterity martial arts check at difficulty 6.
Yes. Haha, the sacred art of throwing.
I watch Ludwig. I know how to throw for content.
Oh, God.
Well, you grasp firmly onto it, and you're able to not only throw it, but throw it hard enough to send it several feet away from you. However, like an anchor tied to you, that little tendril that was attached to whatever was inside of you, you feel it break loose and yank on the thing that it was holding, and it rips your habit down the chest, revealing quite a bit.
Oh.
However, it seems to have lost the object itself does not get pulled through. It just merely rips your habit down the center, about to your navel, and then you can hear the thud and squelch of the box hitting the ground at your feet, and you can see the pile of twisted vines and leaves crawling back towards you from about 15 feet away.
Okay. At this point, Gemma, in probably the most life or death situation she's ever been in, probably even more so than that bear, at least in her head it is, she's just overcome with anger towards this thing, this entity. And while she knows she could just pick up the box and just walk right back inside, instead, she gets up onto her feet, walks over to it, and just starts stomping on it. And with each stomp, she's just going to curse this thing's existence. Just under her breath.
Tell us about it. What does she say?
You do not deserve to be on God's earth. You damnable thing. You wretched, vile filth.
Give me another willpower at difficulty 7.
Okay. Understandable.
Okay. You stomp. At first, it seems unabated, almost as if the little elbow-sized arms on either end of it are moving independent of the rest of the body, but with each stomp, they make less and less purchase of the land moving towards the box. Almost like it's completely disregarding you. Its only mission is to get closer to that box. And stomp after stomp is delivered to it. It begins to wriggle less, to move less. The tendrils that made up the bottom part of the upper chest that once used to be connected to those legs have now ceased to move. The arms that were growing have stopped all growing. And in fact, after one more stomp, it seems to be stationary, still. The only thing in the air now is the rain pouring down and another distant sound of thunder rumbling.
Emma will, after all of that, just correct herself. Correct herself and just stand up straight and take a few deep breaths. Kinda a little shocked by her own little outburst there before turning, picking up the box, and finally getting inside the church.
All right. You step inside the church, and again, you're not welcomed by the comfort of the Lord's presence. It feels chilly in here and absent of his glory. However, you do find yourself alone. No company of angels or demons seem to be waiting inside the church. Did you have a spare habit?
I mean, I'm fairly certain I do.
Fairly
How
certain?
many I have, that I'm not so sure about.
You lost one in the woods?
You did.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold on. How many habits does a nun normally have?
I don't know. I can tell you, you've got a couple bad habits.
Oh, no.
Now, while we're deciding on that, Ethan, are you available to say what you're up to tonight?
Yes.
Are
I'm
you
here.
hanging out in the Beset estate, or do you have other ideas of what you'll be spending your night doing?
Kind of wondering about that. Ethan really has no reason to head back to the church. He doesn't know that all this is going on.
Yeah.
Um. Hmm. Uh. He might ask Nicholas a few questions.
All right.
Actually, first he'll ask if he could stay over. Might as well.
Find Nicholas sitting in the middle of an operating room, just his eyes closed. I believe that's where I left him off.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan kind of just knocks on like a tray to get his attention. Just goes, "Hey, yeah, so you just sort of hang out here, huh?"
Yeah. It's
Yeah, it's
is
just sort of...
both where I work and
If you're about to say where I play, I'm going to be very concerned.
no. You don't play around in an operating room. What do you want?
Well, first things first, sort of looking for some lodgings tonight. I'm not exactly going to be heading back to the church. It's nice and all, but it's, I don't know.
Storming outside?
Yeah, the weather ain't great.
I suppose you can have the... No. No. No.
Hmm?
Yeah, I think the guest bedroom is open.
I sort of gotta ask a question. Why aren't you renting out like half this place?
I use it as a business. I can't have random people showing up and interfering when I have incredibly important and, not to mention rich and famous guests over for surgery.
Well, I sort of get that, but I'm also realizing that
Also, who in this town has the money to pay me to live in my mansion?
Well, I mean, you're the landlord. I don't know. I've never exactly been in a position to own property, so I don't have an exact answer for that. It just seems like a waste, you know?
Well, you're welcome to take up one of the rooms for tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the least I can do for your help.
Considering I've just sort of opened up the box and initiated that whole process, I don't know yet.
I may or may not also want to know where you are. So,
what's that supposed to mean?
just know that I have the keys to all the rooms. And have a nice sleep.
Are you threatening me?
No. Why would I threaten you while I have a head wound?
Oh, well.
Also, you are a teleporter. I doubt I could do anything even if I wanted to. Not to mention, I would rather have someone with your talents on my side when we're dealing with Margaret.
Yeah, no, not sure if I can put much of a dent there, but I can sure threaten it. Also, wait, sorry, out of character. How do you know he's a teleporter? He's never actually pulled that off in front of you.
Oh, sorry.
Literally never once. And the only time was at a pillow fight he does not want to describe what he did in.
Let's say a correspondence mage then, not a teleporter.
Fair enough. He'll pull it off eventually.
We'll put that in.
Sure. Yeah, no, he's satisfied enough with your answers. He says, all right. I'll go make a bed or something and figure things out. The dumb question. Is there a reason we're having Gemma head back to the church every night? We got, like, a serious situation going on. We keep, proverbially splitting the party.
Besides the fact that Father Andrews would get rather suspicious if she wasn't, taking care of the church, as is her duties as a nun while he is sick. Also, don't want to start rumors that I'm having relations with the new nun or something.
That's quite presumptuous. I mean,
it is a small town. They will gossip about literally anything you can imagine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Rednecks are sort of like that sometimes. Look, I'm clearly not from around here, so I don't know how the local proclivities and stuff work. But I don't know. That's not my immediate assumption.
No, it's fine. I apologize for my brusqueness. It has been a trying day.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
But as you do seem to need a place to stay, and as you said, the house could use some help, perhaps tomorrow you'd be willing to talk about a business venture where I could let you stay here for a reasonable fee. Easier than putting yourself in debt to the bank to own your own home at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I was originally considering getting a home loan here, but I'm starting to realize that that's a bit of a problem. Dealing with Margaret, I'd want to limit exposure to her as much as possible. And it's not like I really want to put roots down here. I just need a place to stay.
Well, let me graciously offer you any room you want in the guest wing.
Huh. Well, then,
you're welcome to stay as long as you need. And,
I appreciate it.
Stop stabbing me in the back.
What? Wait, did I mishear that?
You did say you were part of the opening of the box.
Yeah, no, that was more of a idle curiosity turned not so idle curiosity.
Well, as you say, you don't know what's going on here, but things have been rather serious, and opening cursed objects around the town, putting Father Andrews and others in danger with such things due to a idle curiosity is very counter to what I'm trying to do here. So if you could refrain from magical mischief for the moment, I would greatly appreciate it.
Can't make any promises, but I can definitely make some efforts.
Well, then I will also say the same to whatever consequences may befall you. Now, please have a good night.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
And stay out of the second study on the left.
Could you please stop being so damn specific about the things to not do? You realize how much that makes me want to do it. I'm just being honest. You're so damn... All you gotta do is tell me to do something, and I won't do it. You realize the pattern here. Look, I didn't exactly get into all this stuff to get into crazy Scooby-Doo shenanigans. But you know what that does to someone the second you tell them not to do the thing. That means that's the thing you're supposed to do. I've read enough books to know this stuff. Well, played enough MMOs, technically, but, you know.
And the butler did it, so if you'd like that job as well.
No, I got that. No, not happening. Was never really built for retail or customer service. But in any case, no. I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Have a wonderful night.
I'll try my best. You too.
How about you, Anthony? What are you up to?
Just in case, there's nothing in the second study on the left. There's not even a second study on the left.
I don't know. This house could be a fucking maze.
Oh no, there's lots of studies. I was definitely just ribbing Ethan there to see if he'd just go randomly exploring my house now.
I am going to love Ethan spending downtime trying to figure out the mysteries of the missing second study.
Where is it? Is it behind this this shelf? Let me just knock over the shelf and see if there's a button behind it.
Is it concealed by magic?
Yep. Might as well cast some magic to find out. But Anthony, what you up to? You got done doing the book stuff with Gemma. She popped off to go back to the church. Got anything to do? Any interests? Any intrigue? Discovery? Self-exploration?
Only thing I'm really interested in is that guy who's extremely heavily sedated and now in police custody.
Anything you're gonna do about it tonight?
I can't think of a very good thing to do tonight. Even if I go down there to try and say, to visit, whatever. He got knocked out hard.
Yeah, he's got drugs in him. He's like a lot of drugged.
So I'm not picturing anything being useful tonight. Let's see if Nicholas has a plan on how to deal with this so that I don't fuck it up again.
All right. Well, you would head on back to the operating room where you know Nicholas was at, just in time to see Ethan walking away.
Hey, Nick. Got a minute?
I swear to non-existent God, if this isn't important, I am going to throw a scalpel at you.
And maybe not as important for you, but pretty important for me.
Come in.
Okay. I want to know the rest of your plan.
For our guest?
Yeah, the guy who showed up.
Not sure at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't wake up. Hopefully if he does, the evidence we put will cause problems for him. I'm not sure if there's any way to disappear him from the jail at the moment.
I mean, we know one person who could.
Possibly. I would really... Do you want Margaret to know what's going on with you?
Not at all. Which is why I'm really upset that he's in police custody.
Well,
So
perhaps if you had been here, I wouldn't have had to call police to try to help deal with him.
I mean, you had his ass knocked out.
Not when I called. I'll relay what actually happened to him. About how he showed up and acted like a paparazzi, forced his way in, and then started asking questions after I'd, called the police to try to get a paparazzi out of the house as opposed to, a vampiric mage assassin person.
Okay.
Not that we know any of that, but,
Those events make a little bit more sense now as to how it unfolded. I thought you called the cops after you knocked him out. That's when you called me.
No. If I had managed to knock him out first, I definitely wouldn't have called the police. They complicate matters. But unfortunately, I wasn't willing to whoosh or kill who I thought was an annoying paparazzi, even if they were one that was asking about you, as opposed to some sort of magic-using mage or whatever the things that attacked you were. I didn't get a chance to even look at him to see if he was or wasn't just a normal human.
Okay. So what if we go talk to him tomorrow?
I very much hope he's not awake.
I mean, eventually he's going to wake up.
Hopefully not.
Did you give him enough to kill him?
I don't know. It depends on how he reacts to the medicine. It wasn't necessarily enough to kill him. I wasn't attempting to commit murder and then call the police over. But
well, then I hope that's that he doesn't die then, which means he's going to wake up.
Yes, it does
Otherwise,
seem
you will
like...
have admitted to murdering a person.
Self-defense.
Self-defense. And I'm rich.
No.
I'll be fine.
And I'm rich. And you're bald. Ratio L.
Bill, I don't think medical associations like using your medications in self-defense and then killing a person.
I mean, self-defense of me and another patient that was in the house when someone crazy broke in and attacked? No, I believe they will be completely fine, especially since I was using a sedative. I mean, I could have just let him kill me and, attack my patient, but that's not really in the Hippocratic Oath.
So, he's going to wake up.
Yes, it seems like he probably will.
So we're going to need to talk to him.
No, I don't think that's true.
He's not going to end up staying in the jail.
He might not end up leaving either.
Which is more of an issue. I'd rather know what the hell we're dealing with, rather than having someone who can foosh going around trying to dig up information on us. We know where he is now. If he gets out and doesn't leave the town, we've got nothing. And then Margaret will know. And she will pick up on something. She might even talk to that person. And then she will know information that we don't want her to know.
And your plan is what? Send him some poisoned cupcakes or something?
I don't want to kill him.
He wants to kill you.
We don't actually know that.
Oh, yes, because gangsters usually show up asking about supposedly dead people with great intentions.
Listen, the things that I fought were not Fushers. Really don't think so. They're more monstrous than that. This guy doesn't fit in with that, but yet knows my actual name. Something's going on here, and we should figure it out.
And once again, what is your plan? Other than,
Talk to
running
him.
off behind my back?
Well, that's why I'm talking to you. We need to speak with him. I would also like to put up a barrier on our minds to shield us from any fooshing he might do to us. At least to our minds. It's what I did for when we opened up that box to help protect Ethan.
You don't talk about the box. Not tonight.
Was not certain if your sanctum met the conditions needed to open it. There was a pattern that emerged.
And you couldn't wait just a few hours for me to finish the business I had. You had to run off with complete strangers when I was relying on you to be here and go include random other people in the town in this magical bullshit just because you couldn't wait to open a box.
We did not just include random other people.
Yes.
You know how Father Andrews is when he sees something that's interested to him. He just.
Why did you even go over there? Why did you take the box in with you?
Okay, we were trying to find Gemma. I was not holding the box. I was driving.
And why did you leave in the first place?
To find Gemma.
Why? Could you not just wait? Do you really not trust me? And you just
nothing to do with trust.
Oh yes, because when I ask you to do something for me, when I expect you to be here to help when I'm with a patient, running off on your own, disregarding all that, has nothing to do about how much you trust me.
We are on a timetable. You had other things to deal with. Just because you are busy doesn't mean we all sit on our asses and do jack shit.
And you couldn't do anything else. There was literally no other information for you to look up and no other lead for you to follow. Just take the box, show it to Father Andrew, and open it randomly in the church. You even know what was in it? What it did? You have any idea what could have happened?
I mean, really, technically, anything could have happened.
Yes. It could have killed all of you. It could have cursed the church. It could have killed Father Andrew, who I remind you is still sick.
But any of those effects also could have happened here. And as for, again, Father Andrew's having it, he took it from us to examine. Second, we did learn something about it when he did that. Because it opened and he didn't try to open it, there was something that he did, or it was the environment that he was in, that was the trigger to opening it. So while we were in the church, and we found out what was inside,
because you did manage to open it, that forgives all the risks you put people in.
So
look, just get out. I'm not having this argument with you. If you want to do something about this mess you caused and brought to me, do it yourself. I've had enough. I'm going to bed.
Thank you. I will go handle it myself then. And I'll leave.
All right. Well, Nicholas sits in his castle alone. Ethan goes off to his bed. Gemma recoiling from her battle with nature. What do you do now, Anthony?
Well, I'm going to go to bed early because I have things to do tomorrow.
Sounds like it. Then that means I think everyone's in a position to go to bed. I just want to check back in with Gemma. Was there anything you were going to do before going to bed?
There is one thing I'd like to do.
All right.
I wanted to, after having such a violent fight, Gemma takes a seat at one of the pews. Yeah, uses the time to take a little bit of a breather and she closes her eyes, offers a small prayer. Lord, grant me your succor. Grant your weary lamb rest. As Gemma tries to invoke her healing.
Okay. Could you first give me a meditation roll at difficulty 7?
I would. Okay, yeah. Meditation with?
Yeah. We need to add something else in here. How about stamina?
Okay.
Stamina meditation.
Difficulty 6 or 7?
7.
I vaguely remembered that time.
All right. So you are able to calm yourself down out of this very intense situation that you put yourself into. And while calmed down, you begin to center yourself and try to prepare yourself for the life healing that you're about to do. Go ahead and give me that Arete at difficulty 5 to heal yourself.
Okay.
This is the one? Okay. You can heal that bashed off there, and then you'll be good. At least by morning, that other bashing should be gone if nothing else happens.
All right.
However, in the process of being focused on this healing, in this meditative state where you're reaching out to a higher being, you are given a vision. It's once again yourself in this embrace of the weeping willow, underneath its grand and wide branches. And the thunderstorm that's rolling outside seems to creep into this mental landscape. And with the flash of lightning outside, you see the flash of lightning reflected within the tree. And you can see shadows dancing in between the branches. At the first strike, you only notice it out of the corner of your eye, and as you continue to pray and you can feel your wounds healing, another light flashes, and you realize that it's the shadow of a humanoid. And with a third flash, you recognize that it's a body hanging as if from a noose. And then the vision is lost from your mind.
What on earth could that mean? I don't recognize that body. I guess that's just one more thing to investigate then. And with that, Gemma will go up to her dormitory and get changed for bed.
Okay. Can I have each of you roll a d20 for me? Just a flat d20.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Yay!
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
I
Oh,
don't.
that
I
didn't work right.
no.
Man,
I think you're
I am
looking for a
not
slash
good at
roll.
these.
if you go
Slash roll.
if you go
Yeah.
over to the left side, there's a little picture of a d20.
There we
You
go.
just click on that and it'll roll it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know, that is a thing.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, the text command works all the same. But
Oh, look,
okay.
it also has fudge.
I also wanted to make use of something, assuming we don't just move to the next day.
I was actually going to wrap things up in just a moment. Was there something you wanted to do before then?
Okay.
You can if you want to. If it's like as you're going to bed, before you're going to bed, something like that.
It's actually using my dream stat specifically.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First things first, I'm not sure if Ethan would do this consciously, or if this is sort of a thing that is happening to him. I'm not sure how exactly to best utilize this narratively, but what I'm looking to do as a player is Ethan needs some guidance here. And seeing as the realm of dreams appears to have some sort of insight into the reality of what's going on, he's going to try to get a little bit of direction from his dreams.
Okay.
More specifically about with this box, with all the stuff that's going on here, he's trying to make some more connections between what's happening in the town and the things we found out so far.
All right. So it seems like what you would want to do is roll a perception plus dream at difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just looking for more insight into the goings on of the town. Is there anything in particular? The box, Margaret, the bank? What is it that you're like? Do you want to specify? Because this is supposed to like temporarily enhance one of your abilities. So we could say that it like will temporarily increase your investigation, or maybe increase your enigmas or academics, something along those lines, to make you more heightened for it.
Right. For Ethan's particular set of skills, I think he's going to have a dream about Margaret.
Okay.
We haven't really actually had a chance to look much into her, besides getting scared by her. So that would be rolling dream plus
Perception.
or perception plus dream. Yeah.
Yeah, difficulty 6.
Can do. Perception and... Oh. Oh, the way they do this is weird. It doesn't appear as a die pool I can actually use. Hold on a second. Oh, this is weird.
Oh, because it doesn't show
No.
up on background?
Yes.
Welcome to the rest of the system.
I'm going to pop that under extra knowledges for the purposes of let's use this as a roll.
Well, let's see. Your
Easier.
dream is... Let's go... It was
It's
dream 3, right? So
Yes.
3, and then whatever your perception is, we could just roll that many d10s and just see what the result is.
Yeah, I can actually pop it under extra knowledges because that seems to be the most applicable thing here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whatever.
I can pop in a couple extra stats, which would be that.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
All right. Difficulty 6. 3, actually.
All
Nice.
right. So,
Ooh, 4. Wait, yeah, whatever.
in that case, then, we're just basically looking to get more information off Margaret.
More about her. Like, what is her deal? Because none of us have fully pieced together what's going on with her and why she's so damn strict about what's happening in this town and why she seems to be running into the ground. I wouldn't say intentionally, but close enough, given how badly she's doing things.
Mm-hmm.
What is her deal?
Okay.
See if my dreams help at all. with this little gap in our knowledge.
With 3 successes, you're going to get some okay information out of this. Okay. So in your dream, you can see a earlier view, almost from a bird's eye view of Pleasant Valley. It seems to be in a time where cars are bustling down the streets, and you can discern, well, I don't know how good Ethan is at that, but let's do a wits technology check at difficulty 6 for me.
That I can try. 1, looks like.
You can approximate that this is sometime before the 70s. This could be maybe the 50s or the 60s. It's hard to tell, but you can tell it's probably not the 70s yet, based off of car models and technology being used. And this bird's eye view sort of soars over the town, and it lands on a power cord that goes over the center of town, and you can see its eyes traced on a young lady who's walking into a building. And this vision of her switches from this view, from the bird's eye view, to what appears to be a light hanging over a foggy bank lobby, where there's people sitting there smoking and enjoying a good laugh as they talk to each other over some papers. And she walks in, and though you can't hear anything she says, you can see her sit down with someone, and time begins to move quicker, as you can see she writes down some notes, or she fills out some paperwork. And before long, the vision becomes of her in a very nice, very sharp outfit, and she's now the one behind the desk. And time moves a little bit further. It lurches on. And as it does, you can see that her desk moves closer and closer to the back of the bank. She's now attending to clients of a higher degree, and things seem to be on the up and up for her. However, you, out of the corner of your eyes, you begin to tunnel vision. The darkness creeps in from outside, and you see more narrowly, and she begins to behave stranger. Her behavior over this time looks to be less professional, and more of her time is being sent away from her desk. She's missing calls, and papers are beginning to stack up. And that's when your vision begins to split. Almost like a fly, how it would have like all of those different panels of visions. And you can see this lady simultaneously sitting at her desk and also out in the field somewhere. She's meeting with someone, but at the same time she's on the phone. And instinctually, you know this is taking place at the same moment in time. But this lady is in 2 places, having 2 different conversations. And that's when your vision again splits. Again, almost like a fly, you're getting more panels, and you see this lady hanging out in a deep, dark conference area. There's shadowy figures sitting under silhouetted lights, and she's standing in front of them. She's giving some kind of presentation to them. At another point, you can see that she's in a car driving down Main Street in Pleasant Valley. And at another point, she seems to be in an unearthly place, completely devoid of anything that you would recognize in this reality, traipsing about as if not a care in the world. There's 2 figures standing next to her, but it's hard to discern what they look like. It's almost as if they're obscured through this vision of yours.
Huh.
And that is where your dream ends.
Super professional. Magic-y shit happens. Illuminati. Hmm. Hmm. She's got more behind her than we thought.
Now, for Nicholas, your dream is incredibly pleasant. You are satisfied. You are standing in front of a group of your highest colleagues. You see faces out there that belong to the peers in your field, and they all seem to be congratulating you on some advance that you had proceeded to give in the field, and it is more than welcoming, and you can take pride in all that you've achieved to get to this point. And you see your dad there with a tear in his eyes clapping for you. it's
Aw.
it's incredibly warming. For Gemma, your dream is not so pleasant. You're standing in a forest at nighttime. The lighting is odd. It's almost as if the sun is out in the way that it reflects off the trees, but when you look up to the sky, the canopy of the leaves are completely dark and the night sky looms above. Like the sun is coming from underneath the ground and illuminating it there instead of from the sky. And in the distance, you hear a crying voice. It sounds like a little girl, and you're drawn to it. You pass by trees, and out of the corner of your eyes, there's shadows dancing between them. Irregular, they move from place to place, and the light itself that you would attribute to the sun seems to be following behind you. But if you look there, there's, of course, nothing to see. But this crying voice continues to echo through the twisting trees, and the forest doesn't seem to have an end to it. But before long, you find a little girl by herself. She's sitting with her back up to a tree crying, and she's got something in her lap.
What is it?
She doesn't seem to recognize you or notice that you're there. But you can't see without getting closer.
I approach.
When you get closer, you can see in her hand is a familiar-looking doll. It's made out of that burlap, and it has that felt blonde hair, or red hair, I'm sorry, made out of yarn, and the familiar button eyes on it. And she's sitting there. Her cries are very heartfelt. It's not like she's in pain, but you can tell that she's been here crying for a long time.
I see. I decide to kneel down and place a hand atop her head.
When you do, the light from wherever the source is dims, and you're left in the darkness. Her cries are still there, and you can still feel the top of her head that you're touching, but you find yourself completely surrounded by darkness. The echoes of her voice goes away as well. You don't hear the sound bouncing off the trees like you would expect them to be. It seems that they're all gone. And before you know it, a little bit of light seems to be coming from her, and you once again find yourself under the willow with its purple leaves. And you see her in a new light. Her hair is dreaded. She's wearing a tie-dye t-shirt and some cargo pants that have definitely seen better days. It's a familiar face. It's Josephine. But her tears are not normal. They're black, like ink rolling down her face. And she looks up at you, completely opaque. The eyes are black. Help me. And the dream ends. You did not rest well that night. You're not going to be receiving a willpower.
I feel like that's an understatement.
However, everyone else, you can receive your willpower. Anthony, though, I need you to make a willpower check for me at difficulty 9, please.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure that would be really great for you. Excited? Yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled with how I'm rolling today.
I'm sure Anthony's got this.
Gotta get one good roll, right? Right?
Yeah, this is gonna
Hey,
be great.
Apparently.
I mean, yeah, look at that.
There you go. Willpower at difficulty 9. So, at first, your dream starts out simple. You're in the kitchen cooking food. You're basically replaying the chicken dinner you tried to make earlier. And you have like an infinite stack of chicken breasts next to you. And each time it hits the pan, it immediately gets burnt over. And you're getting frustrated, not understanding why. But then the dream gets a little murky, and you find yourself in some sort of secluded area. It's hard to tell. It's a poorly lit room, and you're sitting in a chair that is reclined back and standing just out of sight in the very edge of the light that's pouring over you. You can see a familiar set of legs in bright red high heels. And a voice is talking to you, and you feel the reverberations in your throat of you responding, but you don't feel like you have control over yourself. And then it gets hazy again. And that's where your dream ends.
Interesting.
And I believe that is where we're going to stop for today. So why don't we go and divvy up a little bit of experience?
EXP.
EXP. EXP.
Let's, here we go. Chapter 6, where we've got our character progress. So everybody gets 1 automatic point, of course.
Of course.
Of course, of course, of course.
And we've got characters who've truly learned something new, important, or significant to the plot of their personal stories can earn a point to reflect how that knowledge has expanded their horizons. Anybody think they have learned something new about them or the story?
Maybe. That dream has me thinking about some things. I can't say for certain though. That's drawing lines that seem interesting to me.
All right. Does anybody have a case to make for themselves then? Because it doesn't sound like you believe in yourself there very much.
I mean,
if you have an idea, you can tell us what you think. Maybe even just thinking you know something is a way to say that you have expanded your horizons.
It's making me think that the dolls are somehow connected to Josephine. In what way, I'm not certain. But in that case, it also raises a lot of other questions, because if Josephine is associated with the dolls and Thaumacool doesn't like the dolls, then does that mean that Thaumacool wouldn't like Josephine? Because the thing is, I would have thought that Josephine would be more in line with Thaumacool and all of that, especially from what I heard from Margaret. But if she's associated with the dolls, you see what I'm saying here?
Mm-hmm.
There's some roundabout logic going on in my head right now. So yeah.
Well, if nobody else does, I think we will just skip over that then. Let's talk about role-playing. A player who goes above and beyond the group's usual level of role-playing should be rewarded with an extra point for exploring his character, delving into his backstory, and following his quirks or archetype, even when the player realizes that his character is making a mistake.
I think we've had quite a lot of good role-playing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think
yeah.
so?
Certainly.
I would like to check your guys' pulse on this. I know that the characters are having a lot of friction between each other, but we as players are not having friction between each other, are we?
I'm
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. I know there was a lot of bickering and arguing there, and I just want to make sure
Oh,
everyone realizes that this is the characters and not the players.
Indeed.
We're here to have a good time. So I do think that you guys all roleplayed very excellently today. You really stuck up for yourselves and your characters. Even under duress of police investigation and, you know, having your own ideas about how to handle that. So why don't you all give yourselves a role-playing point? I'm not going to make you make the argument because I feel like it equally applies across the group today. However, for focus, because belief and practice are so important to a mage, a player who really gets in the way her character performs magic or plays up the mage's belief, details her practices, and uses her instruments in cleverly appropriate ways may get a point for emphasizing the mage's approach to the arts and sciences. I will say that Gemma in her battle got to showcase that a lot, but it didn't seem like anyone else really had an opportunity with the way...
Did a little magic at the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the best I got to do, so...
My vote's going straight towards Gemma's fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gemma did great.
Yeah.
Her damnation touch.
Yep.
Well, I do remember Ethan did the temporal thingy to take those pills.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't actually end up really making it work, but
Oh.
He was able to sense some information on the bottle. It just happened to not
Does
be
the dream count? I don't know. Is that a magical thing? It's the first time I've heard.
That's actually a
about
good
it.
question. Hold on.
Yeah, that
the dream thing.
that makes
is-
sense. It's
Yeah.
not
That was-
necessarily supposed to be, you know, the same as casting a spell, but it's definitely like a magic background. It's not
I
something
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a supernatural.
That was pretty
effect of
neat.
sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even know Ethan could do that, so that was kind of cool to find out.
I honestly dumped a huge amount of points into it at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
for some
Yeah,
reason.
so try and lean into it. That stuff's pretty cool.
We did use it in a very non-default way, because what it's supposed to do is however many successes he rolls, that's how many he gets to add to an attribute. However, in this case, I would be like, okay, you just want to know more about Margaret, so I'll give you some information based off of that. Otherwise, what you might have ended up doing was getting a really nice roll on that dream and then be like, okay, now I'm going to have you do an investigation roll or a research roll to get more information on it. And then that could have turned up 0. And I'd be like, that sounds lame.
Yeah.
So
there's also the option of next time we talk to Margaret, I could have popped it as a roll to realize something about her backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But
True.
regardless, neat idea, trying to figure out what it does.
So yeah, let's give a point to Gemma and Ethan for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Bad that I was injured, couldn't do my mind magic the way I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll pull that in tomorrow, maybe.
You could have tried, but I know you were pretty low on quintessence and willpower.
I had no quintessence. I had no willpower. It wasn't needed immediately necessarily. I mean, it could cause problems that I didn't do it, but there's no way he was going to risk that at that point.
All right.
5 dots in Paradox already. Ugh.
Yeah. I know ID was a little worried about his paradox wheel, but now Nicholas is joining him in that High Paradox Wheel Club.
Having a great time.
Oh, misery loves company, doesn't it? Let's see. What is yours at here?
Oh, so.
Yeah, 5. Exactly.
Yep.
So, before we wrap things up, do you guys have any comments or anything?
Did we go through all the points?
The last one was heroism.
Do
you think anyone was a hero today?
Well, I did fight a plant. I really did not have to fight that plant. I was so tempted to just walk into the church and not deal with that.
Stupidity, heroism.
Well, okay. I mean, the thought process was like, listen, if I leave this thing out here, it's like tomorrow Father Andrews might come by, and like I don't know what the intention of this thing is. It could like try to hurt him or something. So I was like, no, we're dealing with this.
I mean, that does sound more heroic than you just wanted to beat up a plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do feel like at the time it was more self-preservation.
It did take quite a while. Roll die.
Look, if you're going to say it's to protect Father Andrews or any of the regulars at the church, then that sounds heroic to me. And I'm not going to fight you over your own character's intentions there. So if that was Gemma's intention, then get your heroism point.
I'm just saying, it's holy ground. That thing did not belong.
Any other arguments for points? Does anyone want to fight me for points?
I mean,
well,
I'd totally fight you for points, but I don't know if I could get it on this.
To fight on.
Sure, I would lose, but
I will roll an infinite number of dice against you. You just have to hope that, you
get a lot of ones.
I could get a lot of ones.
I think there's some heroic intentions coming up, but nothing that's quite there yet. I'm expecting hero points next session for a couple of people.
Yeah, could be.
Yes.
Maybe even drama points.
Drama.
Ooh. Yeah, I could see some drama points. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that I think we have ground to stand on.
Just wait. Eventually, I'll have enough points to just go up 2 Arete at the same time.
Oh my god, no.
That's kind of scary, actually.
That is kind of spooky.
Looking at this.
By the rules, I don't think we can, but yeah.
I'm looking at this picture in the rule book right now of this like guy casting a spell with someone on a gun. It's like, yes, and now the ultimate magic. Gun. I teach this to you. Use it well. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Take this.
Now, okay. Thoughts and feelings, guys. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's getting real in here. The party's breaking up. Danger's actually showing up.
Yep.
We got possible, consequences happening.
Does it feel like the stakes have been raised?
We're starting to, in a couple ways.
All right.
Got some freaking tree demons.
Now, whether the stakes being raised is a good thing or just a waste of perfectly good steak, we'll have to find out.
Oh, well, fair enough.
We'll have to ask Anthony.
Only time will tell.
That's how all steaks work.
Oh, so it's an aged steak then. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, do you guys have anything to plug, anything to say before we head on out? You got anything going on, Crusader, Kiana, ID?
Hopefully I'll be getting towards the end of my Half-Life 2 VR playthrough over the next couple of Wednesdays, so you can catch me over at my place for that.
Oh, yeah? Afraid of heights, maybe?
Oh my god.
Going over
Look,
bridges in VR?
I'm legitimately afraid of heights. Going through that section in Half-Life 2 on the bridge when I was a kid, that alone was enough. But doing it in VR, that kind of unlocked a new fear. That was an old fear that I thought I had done and put into a box somewhere, and the box just kind of came out and said, "Hey there, want this fear back?" It's like, first, why is the box talking in this metaphor? Why is the box talking in this metaphor first? Second, oh god, there's a bridge. Anyway, no, you can come see me do that stuff there. I think I'm past the bridges at this point.
On what day would we find you?
Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST.
There we go. How about you, Kiki?
Well, I have been debating, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing, like, particularly, deputy. I mean, I know Friday I'm going to be writing fan art. I mean, wait, writing fan art. No, that's not how that works.
Could be.
Fan
Stories are
fiction with novel AI. Yes, that. But I'm wanting to do something sooner than that on like Thursday or Wednesday. I've been playing around with the idea of doing some Pokemon Showdown, but the thing is, my experience with playing Pokemon has always been like from the games, not really from like competitive stuff. So I don't know. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
That's pretty interesting. Pokemon's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I like Dunsparce.
Yes.
I don't know how competitive that Pokemon is, but good luck. I've watched some competitive Pokemon, and it's not anything like the regular Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting though.
Yeah, I don't know jack about Pokemon, if we're being honest. I played the hell out of blue, red, and yellow, and then I stopped entirely.
Oh, really?
Yep.
How many points did you get on the Pikachu surfing minigame? I'm joking. I have no idea how many points I got at any point. Those were fun though. I miss those games.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like in my head, it's like, fun thing I could do. I'd like to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but all the decks that I want to play are just really bad.
I mean, that's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
If your deck doesn't win on turn 1,
thanks for the vibe check,
turn
Indy.
2,
I know.
it's just bad.
I
Yu-Gi-Oh is super fun. We should totally get a group of casual Yu-Gi-Oh players, casual people to play Yu-Gi-Oh together.
That would honestly be great.
So we don't have to play against all the actual decks.
Yeah, no. Please just promise not to play a turn 1, I draw the entirety of Exodia in my hand and end my turn deck. Please.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, like, everything I want to play is like Madolche and Arrow Mage, and it's like, haha, how cute cards.
You like tribes as opposed to strategies, which is how I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is with tribes.
Yeah.
Consequently, how I like doing Magic also.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
If you want to do that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is free, and you get a lot of like tribal type theme decks pretty quickly without having to spend money. So that could be something.
I used to do recorded VODs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I think there's some still on my like old VOD channel, which I enjoyed it while I was doing ranked until I got to the stuff that I was like, this isn't even fair anymore. I don't even get a turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed the deck that I had. It was like a Rika Arrow Mage kind of thing. It was cool. It was fun.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when it originally came out, so like Dark Magician decks, Blue Eyes decks, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, Dark Magician is still viable too.
Yeah, lots of support for Dark Magician. Same with Blue Eyes. Even Red Eyes Black Dragon also has a lot of really good support to it.
Well, and are you doing anything this week, Crusader?
Well, I'm just doing my normal stream. House flipping on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. I might be playing a little bit of Among Us on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might be doing that as well.
So that's my current plans.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
Pretty sus.
Well, tomorrow, if you're catching this on YouTube, then obviously you're not going to see this. But for all of you who are joining me right now, I might be doing D&D tomorrow if we actually get to do it. And then on Wednesday, I will be playing Hunt with Jasmine. And then on Friday, I think we're going to try to play VR games again. And hopefully I won't get motion sick again. And then on Saturday, yes, we should be doing Among Us with Arya if all goes according to plan, before once again meeting back here next Sunday to find out what happens to our wonderful mages of Pleasant Valley.
Pretty sus.
Yeah, that kind of sus of you, Yodi. I don't know what to say.
Just a little.
I will murder you all. You will die.
That's how the game works.
All right, guys, so come back next Sunday when we'll have 3 new characters playing. At least 3, as long as Crusader doesn't also play into that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, deal with it, folks. And until next time, take care of yourself and take care of those around you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.